no new year, new me. You're already the main character. You didn't stop before and you ain't stopping now because this ain't about anybody else. This is all about you. Unlock your main character energy at My Protein.
In the land of kilts and haggis, where the bagpipes play and the weather keeps you guessing, a new kind of warrior has emerged. Meet Graham Halliday, Glasgow's own fitness phenomenon. Not long ago, he was just another lad lifting weights for the looks, more concerned with biceps than burpees. But then a wild idea took hold. Why not trade vanity for versatility? That's when Hyrox changed everything. In January 2022, Graham dove headfirst into his first Hyrox. He finished 16th in the Pro Division with a time of 1 hour, 9 minutes and 56 seconds. Not too shabby for a rookie. With a newfound fire, he swapped out some of the mirror muscles for functional fitness, embracing the grind with the enthusiasm of a Scotsman at a Cayley. Fast forward, 2024, and our man Graham didn't just participate, he dominated. But it's not all hard work and no fun. Along the way, Graham finds moments of laughter, connection, and the warmth of community. Now, as the Hyrox Elite 15 descends upon Glasgow, Graham stands ready to make his homeland proud. From a lad lifting for looks to a champion racing for glory, his story is a testament to grit, guts, and a wee bit of Scottish stubbornness. So here's to Graham Halliday, Scotland's Hyrox hero. Let's see what you've got.
A wee bit of Scottish stamina. That is exactly what we are going to need tonight as we have this huge pre-show building up to one of the biggest events that the Hyrox season has seen so far. Hello and welcome to the SEC in Glasgow. My name's Lauren Smith. I'm delighted to be joined by Till Schenk and Greg Williams of the Rocks Life in studio. As gentlemen, we head into major number 4. Till, excited, is it an understatement?
Oh, it's a complete understatement. This is going to be absolutely spectacular. This is the last chance qualifier before the last chance qualifier. Nobody wants to risk it and have to go to Barcelona really for the last chance. Everybody's going to leave it all out there. We are in for a real treat today.
Yeah, we are. The lineup is so strong tonight on both the men's and the women's, and the atmosphere in this room already is picking up, and the crowds aren't even in here yet. It's going to be really, really exciting night.
Right, before we get into the nitty-gritty of what's coming up tonight, let's cast our minds back to Las Vegas, because this really set the tone. Lauren and Joanna continued their dominance at the top of the table. That battle is going strong, but Linda Meyer, she was back to her best, taking a 3rd place in Vegas. The ladies' competition getting hotter and hotter. There are still 10 ladies looking to secure a ticket here in Glasgow. On the men's side, that battle between Hunter McIntyre and Dylan Scott. Oh, it whet the appetite, didn't it? And we have Hunter McIntyre back here this evening. He's got his ticket in hand, but he's going to want to lay down a little bit of a marker before heading towards Chicago World Championships. And of course, Beau Wills, the great Beau Wills, jumping ahead on the warbles to make sure that he got his ticket nice and early ahead of time. But gentlemen, it comes down to two ladies who are ferocious and have been all season. Joanna Wettrick and Lauren Weeks. Till, what is setting them apart?
You know, that's a big question for this one here. If we look at the last race, it was really just the run that set them apart a little bit. We had this incredible race, such a great duo, but Joanna was missing just a little bit on that run. But rumor has it, she trained hard, she worked hard on that run, and there are some folks out there saying she's right up there. So we'll see. We all know Lauren Weeks, she's got this incredible opening run, but then here we go. We see that duel again that they had. Joanna did so well at the workout stations, and if she can put the run together here, she is a real contender to really challenge Lauren for the win here today.
I mean, they're ultimately getting the best out of each other, aren't they? There's this real battle at the top of the women's table. But Greg, this run, can you see a separation there? Because they're both running style athletes. But somewhere along the line, Lauren has got the better out of Joanna 2 out of the 3 times.
Yeah, it's 2 out of 3 times. I mean, Lauren is probably the strongest athlete we've seen in the sport, and Joanna's very new to the scene, still finding her way, still learning the sport a lot. She's come a huge way in the stations, and they matched very closely in their station times during Las Vegas, and it was on the runs where Lauren had the upper hand by over 2 minutes. This graph here shows like the difference for each run and how she fared after each station, and it was the middle part of the race in particular where Lauren gained some time on Joanna.
So if you do not know the name Lauren Weeks, if you're new to the sport, get to know the name. She is a 3-time world champion until you caught up with her a little earlier on.
All right, Lauren Weeks. Hey, we got to talk about it, right? Last race, we talked about having the family there, having the kid there, the husband there. Very different here now. You're on your own. How does that make the trip different?
It makes me really excited to go home, honestly. But I'm actually flying from here to Houston to do the elite doubles, and my husband and daughter are going to meet me there. So I don't have to be gone from them too long.
Okay, I got to ask, you all know, like, there's a lot of folks going from here to Houston. You all know there's a race in Copenhagen, there's a race here. You could just stick around, right?
Yeah, but a lot of us are trying to qualify for the elite doubles, and that's one of the places to do it. So there's 3 spots available in Houston, and my partner and I are hoping to get one of them.
And you heard it, you know, she is ready to get home as fast as possible. Does that mean you're going to race even faster than we know?
I would love to say yes to that, but I cannot guarantee that.
So I know you don't necessarily like those questions, but I got to ask you, we all looked at the duel, obviously, between you and Joanna. It's 2 wins for you, 1 for her right now. What's the score after tonight?
Oh gosh, I mean, I can't say. Like, honestly, there is no way to say. Like, Joanna is an incredible racer. She's also super young, so she's going to be in the sport for a long time. I just hope to be a positive influence, and then she can continue and take that on to the next generation.
The one thing from your point of view is, like, we hear a lot of folks talking about the duel for third. So it's like it's a given you're and Joanna are in 1 and 2. But who would you see in the mix for the win as well?
I think Kate Davies shown, like, for the past couple races that she's fighting not just for a podium spot, but, like, she can contend for a top spot.
All right, there you have it. The home crowd's going to love hearing that, of course, no doubt. Hey, good luck with your race, and then a good trip over to Houston.
Yeah, thank you very much. Bye, guys.
Great to hear from Lauren there. But one of the other standouts in Las Vegas was the young Lucy Proctor. On debut, Greg, she finished 5th and took a ticket in her first ever elite race. What does that tell you about where and how dangerous she could be and where she could go in this sport?
Yeah, she's really dangerous. She wasn't phased at all, it didn't seem, by that debut in Vegas. She got a qualifying spot. She was, you see her there on just leaving the ski nearly in last place, but even that didn't phase her, and she ran her own race very, very fast on the runs, and yeah, she ultimately booked her qualifying spot, done really well, and now she's on home soil tonight. It'd be exciting to see what she can do.
A true full circle moment for Lucy, who had her first ever Hyrox event here in Glasgow, and now she's returning with someone who has her ticket to the World Championships. But while we were out in Vegas, it seems like a shame to spend all that time on the strip. So me and her took a little bit of a car ride out of the city, and we had a little chat in front of some rather big mountains that she has already climbed.
Like I said, you know, and I said to a lot of people, I'm backing myself to come in like 5th or 6th. And I think some people thought that was a bit aggressive, but I did back myself. You know, I trust my training. I took the pressure off myself. I've got nothing to prove here. I win by being here, like I said when I spoke to you the other day. I think you always race best when there's no pressure on you.
Yeah. The ski ergs. What was going through your mind at that point?
Yeah, I mean, I'd said a lot, and I think I was running my own race, and I wasn't actually aware that I was kind of coming out the ski nearly last until I kind of finished skiing, looked up, and I was like, oh my gosh, everyone's gone. But yeah, you know, it took some guts, and I just said to myself, you know, it's okay, I'll probably get them at the sleds, which I think happened. Yeah, it was nice to keep a cool head there and kind of execute as planned.
Glasgow.
Yes.
Glasgow is like your full circle moment.
It is. I'm so excited. I'm lucky enough today to call this my job. I think, you know, I was 19 2 years ago, now I'm 21 and I'm in the elites, and, you know, I've still got so much time left in this sport. So yeah, it's super exciting, and it'll be such a cool weekend.
We took some photos, we watched the sun go down, kind of like an average evening amongst us 3, right, gents? But guys, that Las Vegas race was something special, and we saw this great battle on the men's side at Till between Dylan Scott and Hunter McIntyre. It was head-to-head the entire way round. Was it expected?
You know, I got to tell you, who would have known? Who would have known? Dylan Scott, who had his incredible performance last season in Washington, where he just dominated every single race. He raced 3 times, incredible. But then he just kind of underperformed. He seemed to be struggling, especially in the majors, with a travel abroad. And then he was back with a bang. He challenged Hunter McIntyre, not just at the burpees, where we're seeing here. Throughout the entire race, he was hyped, he was cheering with the crowds and everything. He was always where he needed to be until he kind of pulled away about 20 seconds from Hunter McIntyre, brought it to the wall balls, and then brought the win home with this incredible celebration that we're seeing at the finish line there. I know he took a little bit of flack for it. I love it. The emotions that went through him, that he brought out there, this is what winning is all about for me.
Oh my gosh, I loved it as well. And he's one of the nicest guys behind the scenes. It couldn't have come together better for a bloke. And we saw him do it at Washington, D.C. as well. The ability to go out the front and hold his own. Greg, when you look at the numbers, Hunter McIntyre versus Dylan Scott, what do you see when they stack up?
It was very interesting. Like, Dylan really matched him very well on the stations. Now, Hunter's was coming in. That was essentially his first solo race of the season, and he doesn't have a hugely long season. He's looking to peak for the World Championships in Chicago, so we weren't necessarily expecting to see the best of Hunter. He was on very good form that day. He's even raced since Las Vegas, in Brisbane recently, and put down another very, very good time. He's sounding confident for tonight. I mean, to be fair, he's always sounding confident, but I'm excited to see what he can do. I think he could put in a special performance.
Can't wait to see him out on floor. Let's take a little reminder of who is already qualified for the World Championships in Chicago. On the women's side, there you have it. Megan Jacoby has been absent as of late due to a back injury. Lauren Weeks at the top of that table. And, of course, Maya Belval-Aqua and Proctor taking their tickets in Las Vegas just gone. But it's a good group of women, but missing some really huge names that no doubt we'll talk about later on. In the elite men, Alexander Ronchevich, James Kelly and Rylan Shadegg were the first 3 in Amsterdam to make sure they got their spot nice and early. Graham Halliday, who has this huge homecoming here in Glasgow, he's already sorted and running for a little bit of fun. The Americans, Dylan Scott, Hunter McIntyre, 2 big names, but plenty more big-named Americans on the start list tonight and hoping to secure their ticket to Chicago. Now, guys, we always talk about elite athletes, and there's a huge amount that goes into being an elite athlete. And it's not just the training and the work and the perseverance, but nutrition, supplementation, that plays a huge part as well. But rather than me talk you through it, I'm going to let this man right here take it away.
Hi Jake, thanks for joining us. We're here before the last major of the season in Glasgow, your 3rd Elite 15 race. We've got some products here that are My Protein designed for the Hyrox athlete specifically. I want to talk to you about how you use some of these products and how you think about your nutrition. If we think about before training, before racing, are there certain products or things that you're thinking about nutrition-wise before the race?
So pre-training and pre-race, I'm always thinking about being hydrated. Mm-hmm. And I also need some form of carbohydrates. So I like to go for the electro fuel. So out of this range, I like to go to the electro fuel because it's got your carbohydrates in, but it's also got electrolytes, which is going to hydrate you. You know, having that with water is going to make you feel fueled for the session. There are quite a few studies are coming out now as well that fueling mid-training session is really beneficial for your recovery. Yeah. You're kind of kickstarting your recovery already before your training session is actually finished.
We talked about pre-race and electro fuel during training as well. Is there anything else you think about during a race, during training? Are you using any of the gels or anything like that?
30-gram carb gel, and I'm going to be taking that just before the rower, so basically halfway through the race, and that's hopefully going to give me a little bit more energy to finish off the race and give me a strong finish.
Yeah. I don't know about you, but the way I think about it as well is guys like you are going sub 60, but a lot of people watching this will be taking a lot more than the 60 minutes, and so the mid-race fueling becomes even more important for them, doesn't it?
Oh, 100%. I think the studies show glycogen stores can last anywhere between 70 and 90 minutes if they're full. So having something like a carb gel, is super important.
Do you ever use the pre-workout gel, like or caffeine or anything like that pre-workout?
Yeah, so I actually think the Hyrox pre-workout gel is probably one of the best formulas. It's got beta-alanine in, it's got citrulline malate in, and it's got caffeine in, which is 230 milligrams. So it's a big, strong dose. I think this is great for a race. I tend to use these for race day and my threshold sessions or my hard, intense sessions. I wouldn't use them every single day just because I think that the dose is quite high. Yeah, that's when I kind of use it.
And then post-race, like you've pushed yourself to your absolute limit, and then you want to train again the next day or whatever. How do you recover? Do you take on anything to help you recover?
So I am a little bit geeky with this. Like normally I'd suggest to any of my clients or any of my friends that are racing, I'd just say, go and have a pizza and a drink. But I like to fuel up straight away just because I'm thinking about my recovery straight away. So a refuel bar, I like it's got a good amount of protein in, a good amount of carbohydrates to replenish them glycogen stores that you've exerted. And then I also like to have a protein shake. So in this range, we've got 2 different options. We've got a milk-based one, and then we've also got here, we've got the Recovery Whey, which has got carbohydrates. Basically, it's the same formulation as the bar. So you can either have it in a bar form or you can have it in a drink.
And are you using like the whey, for example, on a daily basis as well?
Yeah, so I always look at whey as a superfood, getting in protein, after a session, but also when you're just on the go and when you're busy.
All right, awesome. Well, good to catch up with you. Good luck for the race.
Thank you.
Catch you soon.
I appreciate it.
All right.
From one Jake to another, I am delighted to be joined in the studio by Jake Williamson, Elite 15 athlete and somewhat at the heart of the British community racing. Jake, how are you? How excited are you to bring Hyrox to Glasgow?
I am very well, thank you. Training's going well. I'm excited to compete this weekend. I'm pretty gutted I'm not here tonight in the elite race, but yeah, I'm pretty excited. I'm a massive fan of Hyrox anyway, so being able to come and watch and do a bit of commentating is pretty cool, and I'm very excited.
We have just listened to Jake Dearden talk all about supplementation. I mean, yourself, you're doing this every single day when it comes to your performance goals. What are the basics that people need to get right?
I think that's it. The basics are the things that you should just get right. Get those foundations set in place. Like, there's so much low-hanging fruit. It's like, what are you eating before your training sessions? What's your sleep like the night before? Are you getting an 8 hours sleep as possible? Obviously, those of us that are able to do this on more of a full-time basis, it's easier for us because it's kind of our main focus. But setting those foundations right is going to put you in good stead for competing and then also going on to set some PBs or get even faster and be a little bit more competitive.
Obviously, getting into these races is becoming increasingly hard. Like, there's a lot of athletes putting in some incredibly fast times. Are you finding that, like, you're focusing on those 1% even more because of all that competition?
Yeah, you have to, especially with like an hour race. Like, your 1% is like 30 seconds, and that's the difference between going into the next step and getting into the elite field. Like, the margins now are so small, and the times are only going to get quicker and quicker, so that 1% and 2% is what's needed to get you to the very, very top. And you look at all of these guys, if you ask them questions, they're all dialed in. Like, even, we were chatting earlier, even the way that they look, the way that they're just more focused and dialed in, like, you can see them right off, and the way that sponsors are coming in, the standard's only going to get higher and higher.
Yeah.
So as you can see, going across the bottom of the screen right now is the 2025 race calendar. It was announced earlier yesterday, the day before, by Hyrox, to the point where you crashed the system. It was very, very exciting. And Jake, you travel the world competing in competitions. You've just come out of Katowice. You set a PB. Prior to that, you were on the red carpet. Actually, I'd love to know, how did you end up on the red carpet of the Brits?
I'm very lucky. I signed a partnership with Instagram recently where I talk about being a gay athlete and the difficulties, but also like the pros now of what's to come, and Hyrox in particular being really inclusive and being a space where I feel really welcome. So because of that, I get some pretty cool opportunities. We're sat next to Keely Hodgkinson, 800-metre gold medalist, and a few other athletes, which was pretty cool. So yeah, from the red carpet at the Brits to the black carpet at Hyrox.
I absolutely love that. As you're looking at those places just float across the screen and the amount of opportunities you're going to have to race pro this year, how much excitement does that fill you for?
Yeah, I look back, and 2 years ago I was working 45, 50 hours a week in the gym, and now I get to do this full time and travel the world. I was just out in Los Angeles training with Hunter, and then Poland, and then going to be going to Warsaw, and then all these other races. I haven't even sorted my calendar yet, but there's going to be a few pretty exciting ones from New York to Chicago at Worlds.
Well, fingers crossed. We will be seeing it. Will you be doing the last chance qualifier?
I will be in Barcelona, yes.
Yes, fabulous. Well, other exciting destinations announced is my hometown of Cardiff. I know you guys are like, oh, she's Welsh, of course she's into it. Technically, you know, ish, live there. But the Principality Stadium, it's a cauldron of noise. If you've been there for the rugby, you know they put the roof closed and you can hear everything. It reverbs around. And putting a Hyrox right in the middle of that is truly going to be something special. Well, that is the infamous pitch that I referenced there on the Principality Stadium. Hopefully I'll be smack bang in the middle of it, recording my solid 1:20 to 1:30 hour times, unlike our Elite 15 tonight. But I am improving, and that's thanks to the coaches that I work with and under. And we are very, very excited that Red Bull have partnered with Hyrox to bring you the Red Bull Hyrox Coaches Camp. You can receive next level insights from the world's strongest brands in the sport. 60 coaches are going to be selected from you guys registering from the 11th of March. And at the beginning of August, the 4th to the 7th, you are going to come to Silverstone and learn from the best minds in the business. All thanks to Red Bull and this partnership with Hyrox. Jake, you're a coach. If that opportunity came your way, like, how would that elevate what you're offering to your clients?
I think the beauty of Hyrox is it's so new, but it also means that we're not 100% sure in terms of our own coaching. So these guys that are doing the science and doing the research are able to provide that. And not only that, I think from, like, you can take minutes off just from the mindset and being around the right people and understanding and being coached by them. So yeah, it's kind of an invaluable experience, and being at Silverstone will be pretty cool in itself, to be honest. But yeah, it looks like it's going to be a pretty cool opportunity. So anyone who can get on it, get lucky enough to get one of those spaces, then I'd recommend going for it.
Fast race cars to faster athletes. Let's take a little reminder of the start list that we are easing in on. Here are our elite women. We're going to see that battle again between Lauren Weeks and Joanna Wettrick as they come back to the floor. Who's going to take pole? See what I did there, guys? Local Lucy Proctor, she returns to Glasgow following her Elite 15 debut. Maria Fetchik, a late roll down, is here back on the floor looking to take her qualifying ticket. And our debutante in Tanja Strohschneider, an Austrian triathlete who represents her country at the international level. It's a really exciting lineup of ladies all out there to secure a ticket to the World Championships in their last chance on the grid. An equally exciting list from our male athletes. James Kelly will be looking for his third podium after narrowly missing out on it in Vegas. Americans Rich Ryan and Ryan Kent have taken the journey across the Atlantic in a hope to snag a ticket. Neither of them will want to be in the last chance qualifier in Barcelona. And then after not witnessing him in Las Vegas, Irishman Sean Noble, he's starting tonight. He's battled back from a serious injury, and we expect to see him on the floor. This is something very exciting. Sean Noble has got quite a big reputation, shall we say, amongst these parts. Jake, you know him intimately well. What can you tell us about him?
Yeah, Sean's great, and I think having characters like him in the Elite 15 is really, really good for the sport. It just adds a little bit of difference. He's quite outspoken. He's a hell of an athlete, and it'll be exciting to see him race tonight. And I hope he steps up to the mark and proves everyone wrong almost in a way.
You've been a rookie. You've been out there and done this on your first ever time. What extra things is he dealing with?
I spoke to him earlier and he was asking lots of questions, so I think there is a bit of nerves settling in with him. I think when you do come into these stages, it's I know Hyrox is quite new, as I said, but like it's still things that we dream about because it's become all encompassing. Like us guys at the top, and even guys that are trying to aspire to be at the top, like myself. It's something that you go to bed sleeping at night, you wake up, you think, right, I'm going to eat, I'm going to train, I'm going to do whatever I can to be at the top. So he's done all the hard work. I think it's testament to him. He had a pretty horrific injury. I don't know if anyone's seen it, but go and look on his Instagram page and you can see how bad his ankle was 8 weeks ago. So testament to him getting here tonight, and I hope he performs well.
We can't wait to see him perform. I did get an opportunity to catch up with Sean, not just here, but also in Las Vegas, where the incident took place. And no doubt about it, this man is here to take a ticket home. So Sean, we did this. We sat down, we chatted in Las Vegas, fully expecting you to make your Hyrox debut. What happened?
Yeah, so unfortunately, I did a shakeout workout in the hotel. I was doing a burpee broad jump as part of the shakeout workout. And ironically enough, I got to 13, and when I landed, my ankle just went to one side. I actually tried to get up and run, and I physically couldn't put any weight on it. I took off my shoe, and the ankle just exploded. And then I called actually an Irish guy who's a former professional tennis player, and he knew a surgeon. Actually happened to be Mike Tyson's surgeon, but he initially said broken, really bad. But then after getting an X-ray and an MRI, confirmed that I tore the ATFL and the CFL, and I was told it was 8 weeks before I could run. So that was the diagnosis. So you were told 8 weeks, but that was only 4 weeks ago. So what's the motivation for turning up today? Well, I kind of think back to my dad.
What's your motivation for racing? What actually drives you?
My father. So my father died of brain cancer, and the biggest kind of jump in me in performance has been when he was like literally just passed away, and I used Hyrox, I used training as a means of escape, and that's when you've seen a big improvement in my performance. I went from say 63 to 55, 57 in races. So just using that as my motivation. My dad was big into fitness. We used to go running together. And when I race, I think of chats that we had. He used to teach me about breathing techniques and stuff. And when I'm racing, all I think about is him, really. There's a story that really kind of resonated with me in Turkey. I remember, so he only had 3 months to live. He had brain cancer, and I remember he was collapsed, literally walking on the beach in Turkey, getting up, trying to walk, couldn't even walk 50 yards just to give my mother a good holiday. And I was like, if he can do that, I can run around here for whatever it is, an hour, how long it takes me, I don't care. So it is a really big deal. This is effectively your debut, the first time that you're going to take to the floor. Where is your head at given everything that's happened? To be honest, I feel good. I feel fit. I'm very excited. It's my first Elite 15 race. I want to see how I fare against, like I said, the best in the world.
In unimaginable circumstances, Sean Noble, a truly special competitor and one that we're super excited to see, Greg, as is someone else.
Yeah, his granddad Johnny will be at home watching this. He's a huge fan of the sport, huge fan of Sean, obviously. He can't travel to these events anymore, but he's tuning in for every live stream. So shout out to granddad Johnny.
Hey, granddad Johnny! Talking of debutantes, though, on the women's side, I've already mentioned her name, Tanja Strohschneider. We've been watching her throughout the pro racing this past 6 or so months. She is an Austrian triathlete. She's represented internationally. What else do we know?
Yeah, very exciting athlete. She only really came into Hyrox like 9 months ago, maybe introduced to it by world champion Alexander Ronchevich. Narrowly missed out on qualifying for the Paris Olympics as a triathlete, and then has turned her hand to Hyrox and really progressed in the last 9 months to qualify for this race. Yeah, exciting talent.
What's really interesting, you have come from a running background, right? It was probably I'm not going to assume it was a smoother transition, but when you have something to lean on and you come into the sport, how much does that help?
Yeah, I think in particular with the triathlons, because they're used to coming off the bike and running. For me, with the running background in particular, it did take me a while to get used to coming off the sled and then running, like the compromise running, as we say quite a lot. But my cadence would change, my mechanics would change, so I had to get used to doing that. So I've almost had to be a slower runner to become a faster Hyroxer in a way. So you see it a little bit, but yeah, leaning on your running background and it's going to help inevitably because it's 60% running. So yeah, but having that background has helped me massively get to where I am as quickly as I have done. But then you look at other guys, so Graham, for example, has no running background at all. so he's just an absolute monster. Then he's built up his running over the last few years. So you can get into it in other ways. You don't have to be a runner. I think a lot of people assume that most guys are from a running background, and yes, there is an element of that. But I think anyone can get into it and anyone can do well, as you see from the men's field.
Well, Jake, thank you so much for joining us in pre-show. I'm really excited to say we're going to be hearing a little bit of your dulcet tones on commentary.
I think I may be doing some commentating, yeah. So, well, yeah, listen out for me.
He'll be the third voice that isn't Austrian or Greg. So, but thank you so much. Relax while we head to a short break. Don't go anywhere. We'll see you in a minute.
No new year, new me. You're already the main character. You didn't stop before and you ain't stopping now because this ain't about anybody else. This is all about you. Unlock your main character energy at My Protein.
A very warm welcome back to the Glasgow SEC here in the United Kingdom for the fourth and final major of the season. Myself, Lauren Smith, and this guy right here, Greg Williams from The Rocks Life, are bringing you all of the action as we build up now to the women's race that is a mere 15 minutes away, Greg.
Yeah, very, very exciting race. Hugely talented lineup. And an awful lot to play for, not just for the win, but for qualifying spots as well. Really, really exciting.
Now, this is what our athletes are going to contend with. Over the course of the whole weekend, we're expecting 19,000 racers through the doors of the SEC. But for the elites, it's the curtain raiser, and we are on the grid. That means that we are going to be in a cauldron of noise as the athletes have had a separate arena personally created for them with 2,000 spectator tickets sold. And as the spectators flood into the atrium, the atmosphere is certainly rising. What's super interesting, though, is the laps, of course. We'll get into that in a moment. Let's just take a reminder of the female field who are going to be taking to this course tonight. You've got Lauren Weeks and Vivian Tafuto there. Two ladies out of the USA. Tafuto from Texas looking to secure a ticket to the World Championships tonight, alongside German Sekka Arning. You can see just above Proctor and Piergiani. Piergiani, another one who's going to be in that fight. No one wants to miss out on an opportunity to go to Chicago and claim what could be the grand prize of a top step and the title of a world champion. Jezebel Kramer, a last-minute alternate. She got the phone call just yesterday to come here. She jumped straight on a plane for the injured or ill Jade Skillen, and that pretty much completes our lineup, Greg. It's a super exciting field, and there's a lot on the line for the athletes going for a ticket for the World Championships.
Yeah, there's a lot on the line. 3 spaces up for grabs, as with all the majors, and really anyone who hasn't got a spot in this field will feel like they've got a good chance of claiming one tonight, for sure.
Let's talk about the battle for the top 2, because there has been a consistent and clear, I'm going to say, podium contention. Ladies, they've been on the podium every single race so far. Lauren Weeks and Joanna Wettrick.
Yeah. The 2 standout performers of the season so far, for sure. Both incredibly good runners. Lauren has edged it so far 2-1, but it'll be exciting to see what we can do tonight. Pressure is off of both of them, so they can try things out ahead of the World Championships. Be exciting to see what they do.
I mean, head-to-head up there, 2 lovely youngsters in Lucy Proctor and Joanna Wettrick. They have taken, I guess, the Hyrox world by storm to a certain extent, because they are the next generation.
Yeah, they are, and both very young. Joanna came in, if anything, she was a very strong runner and had work to do on the stations, but the time she's made up on those stations in a very short space of time is incredible, really, and she can continue to push on. You saw she got the edge over Lucy there on the stations, but yeah, I think she can continue to develop that.
Breaking news. The athletes are about to walk out on a stage. You stay with me, because, ladies and gentlemen, the action is about to unfold.
gentlemen, please put your hands together as we begin tonight's show. Welcoming our first athlete from France. Make some noise for Jezebel Kramer. From Austria, make some noise for Tanya Schroeder. Next up, from Canada, give it up for Maria Fetchik. And from Australia, it's Jessica Petro. We have Italy in the house. Make some noise for Camilla Massa. And from Germany, Jana Livingston. Your first UK athlete on the evening, Zara Pirajani. It's her debut elite race. Give it up for Lucy Bratter. Germany now, moving on to Sinika Army. We have from the UK, Kate David. All the way from Australia, Joanna Redrick. From Germany, Linda Meyer. Also from Germany is Viola Overlander. From USA, give it up for Vivian Taputo. And last but not least, we have Lauren Reeves.
It's really building in here now as we welcome our women onto the floor. Amongst them, though, a number who are not yet to qualify. Vivian Tafuto, Viola Oberlander, two names that were on the start line for Nice last year and having to fight for a ticket tonight.
Yeah, it's a pretty amazing, really, that they've got to this stage of the season and still not booked their qualifying spot. They finished 3rd and 4th in Nice, like really, really strong performances, and you expected them to be able to push on from there, and they've just not quite done it so far this season for various reasons, injuries, illness, things like that going on. But tonight they'll be very, very eager to book their spot ahead of like having to go into the last chance qualifier.
And I'm not going to say hometown hero, but Zara Pirgiani from the United Kingdom, racing in front of a home crowd. You heard them lift when her name was announced. She was in the last chance qualifier this time last year alongside Camila Massa. They're going to want to do it one time better this around and not end up in that mass fight to the finish.
Yeah, they are for sure. In those last chance qualifiers last year, Camila and Zara both performed so strongly. They dominated the races. They took the wins in the two races. And again, like, they'll be looking to book their spot tonight because they are such strong athletes. They performed reasonably solidly so far this season. Like, they've not done a huge amount wrong. They just need to, get that final push.
Well, let's hope we see it here tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, that's all from us in studio. I'm going to let Greg get settled in commentary. But for now, let's head on over to Till Schenk and Jake Williamson.
Thank you so much, guys. Yeah, it's going to be an exciting race. You all heard it. Welcome once again to everybody out there on the screens. We're just about 20 seconds away from the race. We're seeing our lineup here. And one thing that we can promise here from the studio, I got Jake with me now as well. It is going to be one hell of an exciting race that we're going to see here today. 3 spots up for grabs for the World Championship in Chicago. And you can see it. Vivian Tafuto, a last deep breath. The pressure is on here in Glasgow at the last major of the season, seconds away from the start. 15 seconds until the start. You can see they're getting ready now. And here we go, everybody. Enjoy the race, enjoy the action live here from Glasgow. Our women's elite 15, and they're off. And that gives me the opportunity to welcome Jake and Greg back to the studio here.
Jake.
Yeah, that's what I said. I started with Jake and then I corrected myself to Jake. Let me be a little bit excited here. Great to have you guys. Jake, I know we had a quick chat about it already. It's got to hurt a little bit not to be on the start line today. Love hearing that. Love hearing it. Seriously, want to see you back in the Elite 15 racing here, no doubt. And what a race we got. What a setup here. Slightly different track to what we used to. We got 4 run laps to go, which is interesting. Like, there was a lot of speculation, but we don't know, is it going to have an impact or not? From an athlete's point of view, do you think it makes the run harder?
Sorry, I thought you were talking to Greg. Yeah, I think from a run perspective, I had 3 laps in Katowice last week or 2 weekends ago, and it's hard to get the momentum. Like when you've got nice long stretches, it's great to just let your legs flow and the runners can really come into their own. When you've got 4 laps and you're turning quite a lot, it can be quite difficult. So my predictions are going to be potentially some of the stronger girls might come into their own on the sleds and then take a little bit more out of them on the runs because it's harder to run faster.
And, you know, speaking of run fast, we're seeing that now. This is something we talked about a lot before, Greg, is Joanna Vittrick right now going with Lauren Weeks in this opening lap, at least the first 2 rounds. She is right behind her, only like 2-3 meters behind. We talked so much about it. She worked on the run. She improved the run. If she can stay with Lauren Weeks on the run, what do you think is going to happen throughout the race here?
It will be a great race because not very much separates them on the stations at all. In Vegas, it was Lauren beat her by over 2 minutes, and it was really over 2 minutes on the running time that she beat her on. So if she can hold her own on the runs, if she can stay with Lauren, then there should be a great battle throughout the race because neither of them lose much time on the stations.
And Jack, she's got the beautiful situation or scenario that she's qualified for the World Championship already. Is this something where she can just risk a little bit, say, hey, let's see what it feels like going with Lauren?
Yeah, exactly that. That's what I was going to touch on if you didn't bring it up. I think the beauty of these guys that have already qualified, they can test things, they can go out a little bit harder, they can potentially go a little bit slower to then try and build up into the race and try new things. And you don't get to have this race environment with an empty track unless you're in this Elite 15, unless you're in this race at the moment. So, yes, you can go and do a pro race and run elsewhere and practice that, but you're not in this environment. It's completely different. So, I think for her right now, I think it's quite a good idea to stick on Lauren. Lauren's obviously been a little bit unwell after that Vegas race, so she's gone out pretty hot still, and she always looked like she's attacking the run. So, it'll be interesting to see what happens in the next after the next couple of stations, the next few runs.
The other thing that can happen with so many laps is like you lose sight of the athlete. It's not even very far in front of you because there's so many turns. You lose sight of them, and if there are long straights, you know you've got them in your eye line. It helps to sort of tag onto the back of them a little bit more, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think as well. If you're not kind of in the front, it can feel like you're a lot further back than you are. If you're getting lapped on a 4-lap course, you might not be getting lapped on a 2-lap course, whereas here it's going to play into that mindset a little bit. So I think the best thing that girls that aren't on the front can do is just stick to their own race plan, stay pretty strong for the first few stations and see where they're sat after that, and then race from there. And again, remember, these 2 girls have already qualified. So it's not a race about these 2. You can almost forget about them and just race the people that are in the actual Elite 15 qualification spots.
Yeah, that's a great point because you know there's 5 ladies that are already qualified in this race. So in theory, like it could roll down as far as 8th tonight. So you can't get too demoralised if you're getting lapped by some of the top performers because you're still well within it.
Well, and here we go. first workout station. This is a scenario we haven't seen this way before. Joanna Wittrick in pretty much right with Lauren Weeks there.
Yeah, she's nice and tall as well, so the ski and row suit her as well, so I wouldn't be surprised if she comes out in front on this.
Oh, this is going to be an exciting race. Before the race, I thought, okay, we're going to focus fully on those qualification spots for the World Championship. This is the race, but we got to look at this because this is an indication towards the World Championship as well. And that's a little bit where, I don't know if I see that wrong, but I always think Lauren Weeks been in the sport for so long. And at the top, it'll be a lot harder for her to improve on her performance than it is for Joanna, who's fairly new in the sport.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a good time for Joanna as well. Like, she's obviously not been in the sport that long, but by the time it comes to Worlds, and she's put a few good Elite 15 races together now, I think it's going to be pretty exciting. And I hope Meg comes back in as well, and it's going to be a big battle between those three. And then you never know, someone like Kate might come in, and we saw it at Worlds last time where she sat on the rower next to Meg, and she looked at her and was like, how the hell am I sat here? So yeah, there's a few underdogs that will come in, but at the end of the day, those three are probably the three that are the ones to beat for sure.
It's a nice pace they've got here though, 158, 159 per 500.
Faster than me.
We remember your ski at the
I was hoping you'd bring that up, to be honest, mate. Yeah, that was something else. I think I'd recommend anyone going and just trying a 1K flat out into a 1K ski and see how you feel after that. I think it took me about 20 minutes to recover.
Oh, it's ridiculous. I think I'll never forget my first. It's ridiculous. Like first 200 meters, you're going like, oh, this is easy.
Yeah,
this is no problem. And then like 400 meters, I'm doing the same thing, but why is it getting slower and slower?
The time just starts to drop and drop and drop. So yeah, these girls will probably stay at the 2-minute mark for the whole 1K now. Again, they've raced enough. They know exactly what they're doing.
Oh, and it's literally like we're halfway through, and there isn't an inch between the two of them.
There was quite a gap they had on the first run coming in. Like, it was Lauren and Joanna, obviously, after 4:22, 4:23 for that first run. And then Kate Davey was in third, 4:47. So quite a gap that the front two opened up on that first run alone.
They did 5 laps on that one, right? So that's going to be a longer run.
Yeah, that would be a longer one, yeah.
But it's what Jake said, right? It's like the other ones behind, they don't have to worry. They don't need to worry about Lauren. They don't need to worry about Joanna. They need to worry about the ones around them that are not qualified yet.
Yeah.
They will be worrying still, though. They'll be looking at them thinking, right, I'm going to try and catch them. I'm just going to try and catch them. That's what they're like. So, but there's a few that have raced before, and the girls that are looking to qualify, they kind of know what they have to do. So we'll be looking out for them as we go through the race and see where they're sat. It's quite hard to tell at the moment. Like, you'd never know off the ski.
Oh, absolutely. And it's, if we look back at Vegas, what we've seen there, it's really exciting to see what's going to happen today. We saw Linda Meyer, who just wasn't friends with the sled push on that day, and then came back like that, and had this fantastic finish in the end. Lucy, who we got in the picture now, she had that little dip in between as well. She lost a lot of positions, fought back, had this incredible race. It'll be interesting to see how those stations work out for them today here in Glasgow.
Look how close that is between 3rd and 15th there in distance covered. There's barely anything between them.
And it's literally, they were running like just one bunch all together coming into this ski. But I think, we're going to see it after the sled push. Then we're really going to see how good the legs are today.
Yeah, there's probably a bigger variance in times over the female category than we see over the men's. So I think we do tend to see a big difference between Lauren and then whoever comes out in 15th. So it's not surprising that these two are already out the ski and they've still got 100 meters to go.
A little bit of confusion there on where to get out of the workout, and I understand it. Like, usually you got this long run around, and here it's like straight out of the door and off you go onto the track again.
Hopefully it means it's a quick course, smaller little rock zone, and we can see some fast times being thrown down tonight.
Zeka Arning, she's out in third. She is here for redemption.
Yeah.
Something went awfully wrong in Las Vegas. Horrific pictures from the wall balls where I think the ball knocked her over like 3 or 4 times. She was that done. She bonked so hard. They worked a lot on the nutrition. I don't think they entirely put the finger on it yet what the issue was. But we talked to her before the race. She's trying different things in terms of nutrition. let's see how it plays out for her. Definitely really good start into the race here. Fastest German, Lindemeyer right behind. And then we're seeing Jana Lebenstedt in the mix as well. Jesper Kramer, who's a very late entry into the race. Really good ski erg here as well.
Oh, Kate's gone down with cramp by the looks of it. I just saw her pull up. I'll get another shot of that as they come around on the laps. Looks like she's back running again now, though, but she looks like she's got a bit of a grimace on her face. So
she does.
Yeah.
It's not like she doesn't usually have it in the race, but this is really early.
She definitely pulled up and was sore on the side of the track. So.
Can we get a replay of Kate pulling to the side of the track?
And as we can see, as I said already, Lauren, they've already going round past the girls already. So. Going to see some lapping in this course with it being 4 laps.
Oh, that's going to be mentally brutal now.
Yeah, this early on as well, yeah.
And then especially, but looking at Kate now, she's now moving through the field again. So I wonder what it is that happened with her.
I suspect it opens up the chances of running an incorrect number of laps as well, a little bit more when there's, you know, some ladies going in and you've still got 1 or 2 more laps to do. It's like on that first run, it's a little bit more easy because you're all going in essentially at the same time. But now it becomes much more confusing. So like you need to like really keep your concentration during this race as well.
Even just coming through here, you see now Joanna needs to be careful in those turns, that she's in a good position and doesn't always have to go around other athletes. It's just going to accumulate on Lauren, and you know how important it is mentally to be there. It's a situation Lauren isn't used to have company straight into first, second, third workout.
Yeah.
She always looks like she's sprinting, Lauren. She looks like she's in a full-on sprint. So impressive. Joanna looks nice and comfortable as well.
Definitely good start into the race here by Linda Meyer, Zika Arning as well. The 2 Germans doing real well. Zika Arning, who still needs to qualify. Linda Meyer, she is through, so not too much of a threat. But they're going into another run lap here as Lauren and Joanna are pulling into workout number 2 already. It is time for the sled.
Lauren sometimes struggles with the sled push, so it'll be interesting to see what the carpet's like tonight. See if she can make a move on the sleds.
So what's the strategy here? Go all the way until the legs burn, or is it do a short break before they burn?
See, the girls always do a full length before braking, whereas you watch the men and they'll always split halfway. A few of them, like Harry Thompson, will just go all out on the sled push and will come out in first. I don't know how he does it, but yeah, the girls will always go unbroken, which is again, I've not spoken to them too much, but it's always the case. They must seem to just be able to shift the lactic a bit better than us blokes.
Something, but it's really interesting to see now. If you look at Lauren, she doesn't seem to be struggling too much this time around. She's going shoulder to shoulder with Joanna Wittrich right now.
Very even. It doesn't look like the sleds are flying, though, does it? I think we've certainly seen them move those sleds quicker this season.
Oh, looks like Lucy just went down and got caught out with all the girls being bunched up, so she actually missed her sled lane, and now she's gone all the way down to 14th or 13th. But they're all so close together, so be interested to see who comes out in first place on this.
Oh, definitely, and she's got an incredible first lap on that sled push right now.
That was an angry sled push, that was.
That was a very angry sled push right there. You know, a bit of anger channeled the right way, never heard.
No.
All right, Joanna Wittrich now opening a little bit of a gap on Lauren, who needs to take another breather here, another quick break just before finishing that lane. Linda Meyer now catching up to Zika Arning, but then if you look at it right next to them, it's so close right now.
watching Jezebel Kramer down in, I think, in the 11th lane. She's moving incredibly quickly. She's made up a lot of time on some of the ladies ahead of her.
She is. Her and Joffrey put down a really fast time in Vienna on the in the Open World Championships. And here comes Joanna.
Joanna first out of the workout. Lauren now, you know, what she said, struggling a little bit. She needs to take 3 breaks on that last lane. Just a little bit too much. Oh, she needs to take a 4th just before finishing the lane. Definitely struggling with the sled right now. And here we go, out she goes.
We've seen this happen before though, and she comes back, so she's a strong athlete. She's gonna trace down Joanna now and get into the sled pull.
And I think for her, it's an interesting situation, but I think it's an advantage now. Beforehand, Joanna had Lauren dragging her along the track, I want to say. She was there as like that motivational carrot, as Zika Arning is coming out in 3rd now. But now Joanna is in the lead, so she's got to push herself now. There's nobody around forcing her to run as fast as she possibly can. Jezebel Kramer moving into 4th. And then Vivian Tefudo going by as well. Linda Meyer again losing time at the sled push. We're not too worried about that after what we've seen in Vegas. Lucy, Angry Lucy, is out as well.
That was a good sled push from Lucy. And Viola coming through now. Those two, well, there's 2 of those that are trying to get those spots in there. And here comes Zara as well, who's also after one of those places.
Camilla Massa as well. We had them both in the double interview today. They said they both got to qualify today. They're coming out together here, so let's see how that unfolds. And, you know, Greg, I think we can talk about it a couple of times there for new viewers and everybody coming in. Today is an interesting scenario as we got 9 athletes qualified for the World Championship already. 5 of them racing here today. So theoretically, top 8 could be enough to qualify for the World Championship.
Yeah, potentially. If the 5 that have already qualified finish in the top 7, then yeah, it could roll down as far as 8th. So there is a real battle going on. It's not just, you know, the top 1, 2, and 3 we're looking at today. There's 3 qualifying spots up for grabs, and that makes it very exciting throughout the whole field.
All right, Joanna Vettrick's gone by already. We were waiting for Lauren Weeks. It was 21 seconds coming out of the sled push.
Just going back to that point on the qualifying spots, so Joanna and Lauren Weeks in 1 and 2, they've already qualified. So Sika Arning in 3rd spot at the moment. She hasn't got a qualifying spot. Neither is Jezebel Kramer in 4th, nor Vivian Tefuto in 5th. So at the moment, it's Sika, Jezebel and Vivian in the qualifying positions.
And I have an interesting one for you. Just in those first 2 run laps now, out of the 4 before going into the next workout, Joanna has taken another 10 seconds out of Lauren Weeks.
Wow.
She just ran a doubles with Hunter in Australia as well, and they put down a pretty serious time, so she's obviously fit.
Yeah, they put in an impressive time, and then shortly after this, she's flying to Houston to run doubles with Tia Claire Toomey. So
she's having a good little run out, isn't she? Yeah. In her debut season.
Definitely. But, you know, there's also a call for caution a little bit. If you look at Hunter McIntyre, you know, trying to do it all last season and then not getting that world champion title, and he said he said himself it was too much. He's more conservative about this season, so you also want to be too careful and not too excited about it, because let's face it, at the end of the day, you want to peak in June no matter what.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a huge temptation to run very often. You know, there's 4 majors in the season, plus now like elite doubles to qualify for and race for, and you know, fun events to do and things like that. So yeah, that is a danger for sure.
And here we go, Joanna Vettrick coming into workout number 3, and we're stopping the clock here to see how big of a gap Lauren Weeks has, how far she's behind. Obviously, looking at the timings that we're seeing on the left-hand side of the screen, Zika Arning, Jezebel Kramer not qualified, Vivian Tefudo not qualified, Viola Oberländer not qualified. Those are the athletes we're looking at right now. And Lauren, she did not lose any more on that second half, so the gap is 30 seconds going into the sled pull. Very interesting to see Joanna Vettrick at the sled pull now. You know, we just had that nice little tutorial, the Red Bull tutorial from Alex Ronkovic on how to do the sled pull. And he says you always want to have tension on the line. You know, you always want to keep it off the floor and have tension on there. She is more the drop it and walk to the front kind of athlete.
Looks like it's moving well, though. She gets down really low, whereas if you look at some of the other athletes, they don't get down as low to squeeze through. So might be a few seconds she could even shave off on the sled pull with a technique, but this might be the one that works for her.
All right, here we go with the chasers in. Zika Arning still hanging on to third spot. Vivian Tefudo right behind. Lucy Proctor coming in as well. Jezebel Kramer, Linda Meyer, Sarah Pijani, Camilla Massa coming as well. Kate Davey in now as well.
Now it's getting exciting.
And Viola Oberländer, you know, she's been struggling the entire season. She was fourth coming out off the sled push, fourth or fifth, doing like with a really good push, but she lost a lot of positions on the run coming in just now.
Yeah, she doesn't look like she's running as smoothly as she has done in the past. I mean, she was really unlucky at World Championships with what happened at the wall balls, and she is a hell of an athlete, so hopefully she can find a second wind and pull something out of the bag. I'm really close with her. I went and did a training camp with her out in America with Hunter as well, so yeah, we've got a good relationship, and I'm secretly rooting for her as well.
Oh, absolutely. Sometimes I just feel like she needs to take a breath. She needs to take a step back for just a few days, allow herself to rest maybe, and then come back. We'll see. Still a long way to the World Championship. But yeah, I mean, it's coming down to this week and Barcelona, or this race and then Barcelona. That's the last two chances to qualify. 6 more spots up for grabs for Chicago. And Joanna Whittrick doing her thing here right now.
Just watching her run from the end of the lane to the other. And sometimes you can see how an athlete's feeling if they walk it or, you know, just jog it very slowly. But Joanna looked like she was feeling good. Yeah, that was a solid run there. She weren't like trying to conserve energy at that point.
And I tell you, you do not want to get a sled pull penalty. That is the harshest penalty I've ever seen within a Hyrox. So the athletes are making sure that they're staying very, very firmly within that box, because you do not want a half a length penalty on that.
All right, I think there's definitely something up with Kate Davey from what I've just seen. It looks like she was running fully on her toes, more limping than anything else, and she is really struggling to move. Yeah, there's no pressure on the left foot. I hate to say it, but I think the race needs to be done for Kate Davey.
Yeah, she's already qualified, right? So
yeah,
she should take the decision, and
she can't. Yeah, she's really struggling to pull the sled there.
Really struggling hard there. Looking at the shape of the calf, I really hope it's a cramp and not a muscle issue. And here we go. Lauren Weeks hunting Joanna Whittrick. She is out onto the track, and we'll see how big the gaps are.
So it was 26 seconds Lauren Weeks was behind Joanna coming out of the sled pull.
So she's gained about 5 seconds on the full.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're just hearing from Lauren, who we just saw in the studio a moment ago. It looks like Kate rolled her ankle at the pull. Actually, she's down on the ground now. I think she's not accepted the fact yet that this does not make too much sense anymore. And here we go with the chaser. Sika Arning, Vivian Tefudo out now as well. Faisal, our head announcer, checking on Kate Davey, having a word with her if there's still any point in going. I think a little bit of drama here again. This is Vegas all over again. We're seeing all the drama repeat itself.
Here we go. Zara's taken a few places here on the sled pull as well. See loads of different changes all throughout the different stations, especially this early on. We'll see in the men's race tonight if John's fit, then he'll take some serious time off the sled pull. Even at this level, at the very elite level, you've still got people taking absolute chunks out of other people's times. So there's definitely space to be gained in terms of how we can see the times dropping even further.
Oh, completely. And it's great to see now Viola Oberländer. She had a really good pull as well, so it just seems to be the running speed that she's lacking right now. And Greg, we talked about nutrition. You talked about nutrition before the race, and it's like, I think it's spot on timing that we're seeing from Camilla Massa. Workout number 3 done. She just grabbed the gel. It's going to take about 10 to 15 minutes to hit the bloodstream. So it's perfect timing if we look at the race times here.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, like, there's no huge benefit for these athletes leaving it too late in the race. They're running very quick, 60, 65 minute sort of times. So you do want to take it reasonably early in the race for it to have a true benefit for you. Yeah, so around now makes sense.
And Kate Davey is on the ground again. I love the spirit of her pulling the sled. I don't see the point, to be honest. If you have to sit down in between, she's got nothing to prove. Such an incredible athlete. I know it's the home crowds here, more or less. A lot of friends and family come over. And well, this is the one race. I feel so much for her. It's the one race her kids had the chance to come over and see mum race. Yeah. And this happens now.
That's why she's carrying on. She's got a smile on her face still. She's slight tears as well, I think. But
so much heartbreak here for Kate Davey, but what an athlete. Making the family proud.
Maria Fetchik there just leaving the sled pull. Just touched her thigh at that point. I don't know if she's struggling as well, but she's fair distance behind everyone else leaving the sled pull.
And what we're seeing here a little bit is with the late entries into the race, it just proves again how different an Elite 15 race is to a pro race. It is brutal what happens when it's just the athletes out on the grid. There's no interference from anybody else out there. It's just full-on racing.
There's also no hiding as well. Like, you have to be 100% to compete at this level. I know, again, I spoke about John earlier, but he's not been feeling very well. Be interesting to see what happens with him later on.
Oh, absolutely. And we're seeing it picture-in-picture. Kate Davey, absolutely heartbreaking. We chatted to her about before the race, and she was so excited. The school allowed her 2 kids to take 2 days off to go see mommy race because all the other major races are overseas. And then on a day like that, she rolls her ankle, and the race, I believe, is over for Kate Davey. Hopefully nothing a hug from the family can't fix tonight. But now back to the front of the race, Joanna Wittrick. She is done with that lap of the burpees here. Lauren Weeks is behind.
24 seconds behind coming in she was, so not much distance gained or lost on that last run.
And that's a really good one. It's an interesting one to see now on this run again. So after the slap push, where Lauren Weeks was hurting a little bit, just getting out of the slap push, she lost 10 seconds on Joanna. Then she ran the same times. Now she was running 2 seconds faster than Joanna again. I mean, the runs come a lot closer together. Overall, we've seen the graphic before the race, of Lauren Weeks and Joanna running.
Yeah, and so that graphic essentially showed that Lauren made up extra. She made time on all the runs against Joanna in Vegas, but it was in the middle half of the race. So like this, runs 4, 5, 6 was where she gained an even greater amount of time. So these next few runs will be interesting.
Yeah, I said it. She's been in that position before off the sled push. Like, she does often struggle with it. So it's not going to be any surprise to her now coming into this bit of the race, knowing that she's going to catch up. I think she's already catching up here on the burpees to Joanna by the looks of it. So now it's a race for those qualifying spots, right? These guys are coming in and they're looking like they mean business.
Yeah, so just on that point, so it's Sika Arning coming in third, then Vivian Tafuto in fourth. So those two still chasing the qualifying spots. Then Linda Meyer came in fifth. She's already got a spot, as has Lucy Proctor in sixth. And then it's Zara Piergiani in seventh, who is still chasing the spot. So at the moment it's Sika, Vivian and Zara in the qualifying positions. But then Zara is very closely followed by Camilla Massa. Essentially, they came in at the same time.
So there's only a 25-minute gap between those qualifying spaces.
And there's literally there's 1 second for 3 athletes for the last spot right now. 156, 156, 157 down. Jess Petro in the mix there as well.
Yeah.
I'm still holding my breath, when it comes to Sika Arning after what we've seen in Vegas with a really good and fast start. I really hope she's got the nutrition dialed in. She was not too happy about the Scottish cuisine in the last 2 days.
Really?
Really?
Yeah. I don't think she considers haggis a great pre-race food.
An iron brew. I've been excited to see Sika every race this season, really, because she at Nice, she wasn't in the elite race, but she was the fastest pro athlete on the day by some margin actually as well. She put an incredible performance on that day. So I've been excited to see what she was going to do this season. She's not quite done it in every major, but maybe today's her day.
All right, and look at that. Lauren Weeks, 14 seconds faster at the burpees than Joanna Wittrich. She brought the gap down to 10 seconds now. She's really close. And despite, the short run circuit, she might have an opportunity now to see her on the slightly longer straight and maybe pull herself up.
Yeah, I think we'll see her attack this run pretty hard with the confidence of gaining a little bit on the burpees. Again, this sport is all about confidence, all about really attacking the stations and the runs that you're good at. And again, as we spoke about, she's clearly good at this middle section of the race, so I wouldn't be surprised if we see her catching up quite quickly now.
This is going to be so hard. Both of them, Joanna and Lauren, racing all out here today, and then hopping on a plane, flying to Houston, and both with different team partners trying to qualify for the Elite 15 Doubles World Championship.
Who's Lauren competing with, do you know?
Lauren Weeks is with Lauren Griffith.
Okay, nice, yeah. That's going to be a race. See who can get the one up today.
And then it's Joanna Wittrich and Tia Toomey, I think?
Yeah. Vivian Tafuto is flying home as well first thing tomorrow morning. She's racing in Houston, but with her dad.
So fair enough, she might be able to breathe a little more throughout the race.
Maybe. I think he's very fast, though.
Is he now?
Yeah.
Sika Arning, Vivian Tafuto, still shoulder to shoulder, both gunning for one of those World Championship slots. They're out in 3 and 4. Lucy Proctor keeps her position. She's coming out now as well. She also at the burpees gained a few seconds on Joanna Wittrich. Jess Petro, Camilla Massa, Sarah Pajani losing a couple of valuable seconds right now at the burpees on Jess Petro and Camilla Massa. That is the duel of 3 that we're seeing right now for the potentially last remaining qualification spot here in Glasgow.
She wouldn't have wanted it, but we're now... This is the second half of the race is where Zara's particularly strong, and on the lunges, and we saw her head-to-head on the graphics before the race, where Zara was averaging 22 seconds faster than Camilla on the lunges alone this season. So she knows she can make up some time very, very late in the race.
Yeah, I think now we're getting to a point where all of these people have done enough races, so you can start to see where you're going to gain time on the other athletes, and it can be a little bit more tactical within the racing. So it gets more and more exciting the more races that we get through and more majors that we see.
Well, just look at the numbers there. I mean, that just shows how strong Joanna Wittrich, Lauren Weeks in the front are. Sika Arning doing so well here as well. Vivian Tafuto mentioned the times of those top 2, but everybody else behind losing valuable time. I mean, that's about 18 seconds that they lost at the burpees. Camilla Massa, Jess Petro on those 2 in the front.
Another strong performance so far from Lucy Proctor. We've all almost come to expect it, which is crazy in just her second elite race. But sitting in 5th position after finishing 5th in Vegas on her debut, another really strong performance today.
Yeah, I was really, really impressed in Vegas. I think for her debut, and she didn't really have the best start, and the composure to then come back and run really, really, really well was really impressive. And I said that to her afterwards, and I said, just take that, and she's only going to get better and better, I think, from here. So she's so young, she's only 21, so she's going to be a long-term Hyrox athlete by the looks of things. So it's going to be a fun one.
Oh, absolutely, and so much opportunity to just, develop, to improve and everything. Now, after signing with Red Bull, she's been down to the Performance Center in Austria twice. So let's see how that's going to impact her racing. And then also, if we look outside the pro category, we had some fun races, some fun results in the last couple of races. Just now in Vienna, for example, we've seen Joanna Wittrich's under-24 world record in the Open broken. And that was by almost 20 seconds on 20 no reps at the wall ball. So that was an incredible performance from a young British athlete. So we'll see who's coming up from the open category and trying their shot in the pro races, maybe this season or the upcoming season. But a lot of folks really, and that's what we talked about earlier today. This is not a sport anymore where somebody who comes from, you know, weightlifting or endurance sport or something tries it out. It's like, this is the full focus now. It's its own sport with a dedicated training plan, dedicated lifestyle, and everything for it.
Yeah, we're going to see kids growing up wanting to be Hyrox athletes, which is just awesome, and I can't wait to see it grow and grow and grow. But I'm also pretty scared because the standard's going to get higher and higher. So I've got to get my time to shine in now whilst I can.
There we see the duo, Joanna Wittrick, Lauren Weeks at the erg, going for it.
Synchro rowing at this point.
157 there for Joanna Wittrick. That is impressive.
That is really impressive.
I mean, like, this is within an individual pro race right now.
Doing a 1K row on its own at a 157 is impressive.
Yeah.
Let alone after everything that she's already done. So, yeah, that's again her height really helps her on the erg. So she looks really smooth, and she's clearly done a lot of rowing. Like, her technique is pretty spot on there.
Vivian there in third is actually one of the strongest on the ergs in the women's field as well. So she'll be pretty happy. You know, sitting in third, she'll probably gain at least a few seconds on this station on the other ladies as well, I think.
Very interesting to see. If you look at the technique, it's like there's those two different opportunities. What do you do with your hands in the front? So a lot of the old school rowers will say you do this little whip. You know, it's like a slight dip with the hands and like a whip in motion back. And nowadays you hear it more and more. It's just like, no, you keep your arms up and you go straight in, straight back, and so on.
Whatever you do, someone will message and pick up on your rowing technique. So
absolutely.
I think until you've done a Hyrox and you've done the runs in between, and you need to almost conserve your legs a little bit, it's kind of hard to understand what and why the technique needs to change for certain people.
I was so cocky and judgmental, you know, when it came to the row until I did my first race, and I'm like, oh, now I get it.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure, I think James Kelly, or he used to, I don't know whether he still does, but his last 100 metres is pretty much arms only, so that he can then go and run pretty hard off his row. So there's a few different techniques and tricks and things coming into play with Hyrox in particular.
And it's like, especially the row, if you look at it, it's just that marginal gain. If you're not comfortable, but like the maintainable pace, if you want to go faster, it's just not worth it anymore. It's those 5 seconds that you get on the 1,000 cost you so much energy.
Yeah, you won't see many people go in like 5, 10, 15 seconds quicker per split on the row at all. So I'd be surprised if there's much change or shift between some of the athletes here.
Right, Joanna Wittrick is out. Lauren Weeks is right there where she needs to be. She's not going to waste a second now to run up to Joanna Wittrick. I would say the race is back on.
Yeah, she's got her eyes firmly on Joanna there. She didn't even look at the floor. She was just eyes on.
And there's no chance she's gonna allow Joanna Wittrick to have a gap on her into the next workout.
No, if anything, I think she'll be ahead. Or they might probably run together.
Yeah,
and they'll push each other unless Lauren does what Lauren does and runs really hard on this and tries to take a bit of a chunk in the lead.
I think this is where Lauren's experience is going to come in her run ability. I'm pretty sure she can get to that point now where she can hurt Joanna a little bit and force Joanna's hand just a little bit.
There's only 3 stations left as well, but on the wall balls they can both go unbroken, so there's not a lot of time to be gained now, you know. So if they're wanting to do it before that, coming into the wall balls in first position, I would think.
Oh, and look at that.
Here we go.
She's not wasting a second. She's going straight through on the inside lane, and now it's up to Joanna Wittrick to respond to what's just happened. You're seeing the row here, but they just came by the studio with Lauren Weeks going on the inside, and now moving to the front of the race with Joanna Wittrick on her heels.
If we look at the qualifying positions, there's Vivian and Sika in third and fourth there, and then the third spot is really a battle between Jess Petro, Camilla Massa and Zara Piergiani, but there's only really 50 metres total distance between the two of them, so barely anything.
And, you know, Jake, you said it's Sarah, you know, she's going to shine in that second half of the race. So we'll see. She is potentially where she needs to be.
I can't really be biased on here, but I'm good friends with her, so I hope she comes through and does really well. And she was obviously my relay partner in at World Champs, where she went unbroken, so fingers crossed she can do that again today and get through.
Vivian Tafudo out, so she's now able to put a little bit of a gap into Sika Arning for the first time. Very important, very valuable for her, Sika Arning, but she just needs to keep the head in the game right now. She's 180 meters ahead of Jess Petro. That's some serious time she's got right now, and she's just got to hold it together.
Yeah, she looks pretty composed. I mean, look, you can normally tell from someone's face when they're coming out of the station how they're feeling, and she took a nice big deep breath and composed herself. So, fingers crossed for her. She has a nice little back half to this race, and she can get herself through.
And you just got to hope for her. You know, what a great story it would be after that drama in Las Vegas to then come to Glasgow and just turn it around, turn the cards, and just qualify for the World Championship.
We'll call it character building. It looked pretty brutal. If anyone hasn't watched the race, go back and check it out. And it kind of just shows what these athletes put themselves through to get to where they are. And hopefully she doesn't have any kind of negative thoughts with the wall balls, and she can come in and attack it.
So I think Camilla made a little bit of time there on Jess Petro on the road, but I have to say that Jess came out looking really, really strong on the run there, so I wouldn't be surprised if she catches Camilla just on this first lap.
She looked real good coming out now. I mean, Camilla being a taller athlete, she will never look as fast coming out of the workout as Jess, for example, but we'll see in a second here. 40 minutes into the race, our race clock presented by Amazfit, our timing partner. And here we go. That is the race. Here they go. In the front, Lauren Weeks and Joanna Wittrick. Lauren Weeks is going to be first into that farmer's carry. And then behind it, we got the race for the qualification spots here for the World Championship. And you're definitely right. Jess Petra, she managed to put about 4 seconds into Camilla Massa on that last lap. And Lauren Weeks now racing from the front. That's what you call tunnel vision right now.
Little party tunnel.
It's our little party tunnel here.
Yeah.
So how much do you think the mental game can still improve in this sport? You know, those little nudges, like, would it make sense for Joanna to try to go past Lauren now in the farmer's carriage to prove a point? I'm here. Just put a few doubts into Lauren's mind.
I think you can do, but I think also Lauren is Lauren. Like, she is one of the best athletes this sport has seen. And I think Joanna almost probably respects that at the same time. So, and also there's only so much your body can physically take and do. So she'll be pretty wise to just stick on her now on this last run and try and keep pretty tight and almost use Lauren. Like, yes, it's not really a slipstream because there's no wind, but you can utilise that and kind of stick on the toes as if you were running a track lap. It makes it a hell of a lot easier when you've got someone sitting at the front being that kind of that target for you to just cling on to.
Yeah, totally. Tough day for Jana Levenstedt, the German, who's just now coming out off the row. Mixed day for the Germans. Viola Oberländer, Jana Levenstedt, not exactly having the race of their life right now. Linda Meyer doing what she needs to do. And Sika Arning, well, in those qualification spots right now, as we now got Vivian Tafudo coming in. She moved into a strong third overall into the farmer's carry. Open up a nice little gap on Sika Arning. Sika Arning just coming into the farmer's carry right now. You saw she's almost like she lost orientation a little bit. I think she might have been in her own head with some thoughts, not realizing that the run lap was over. She almost ran into the barrier, didn't know where the kettlebells were.
Here comes Lucy Proctor as well, again looking really comfortable. I think she's having a pretty good race, and she had a little bit of an Achilles problem before the race, so it looks like that's gone out of her mind, and she's she's moving pretty well with those kettlebells as well for one of the smaller athletes in the field.
But what we want to see is what's happening behind. You know, who is coming in? Linda Meyer, she's qualified already. Jess Petro, you know, she again took advantage of the run. She's at the farmer's carry. And behind, Camilla Massa is coming in. Where is Sarah Perjani? Oh, there she is. Such a close race right now.
Yeah, it's close.
Again, it's those three right now as it stands, battling for the final qualification spot in the race here. Jess Petro, Sarah Perjani getting a word full here from Faisal, our man on the ground. Camilla Massa.
Oh, she's put them down already. Arning put the kettlebells down. That can make a big dent in your time and also mental as well.
And the gap isn't all that big to the three coming from behind.
And we've seen it happen time and time again. The back two stations, as much as you might be in the lead now, the back two stations make a massive difference. If you're weak or feeling fatigued going into them stations, people can put some serious dents into you in those back half.
Well, another reason I'm really disappointed not to see Kate Davey, you know, finish the race here today. She put in 3,780 wall balls since Las Vegas because she was like, it's not okay that I'm not doing them unbroken. She literally did unbroken wall balls every single day since Las Vegas going into this race here.
Yeah, that's dedication, and that's what you have. That's what you get when you've got Anthony Pericini as your coach. I think you get volume. So, and we see it with Lauren. Like she's one of the best athletes, as we said, and she works with her husband, Anthony, and they've got a pretty good team going on.
Oh, and look at Camilla Massa. She's gone past Jess Petro now. She's doing what she needs to do. She needs those seconds coming out of the run. Lauren Weeks, Joanna Whitwick, still shoulder to shoulder going into the sandbag lunges. If they can do the sandbag lunges together now,
it's going to be interesting, isn't it?
This is going to be a wild race to the wall balls.
I think we're on for a very, very fast time from the two of them as well, actually.
Yeah, we've not really looked at that, have we?
No. Coming into the waiting for the times to come up, but I think they're very much on like world record sort of pace at the moment.
Here we go. Joanna Whitwick, she took a second there getting that sandbag on her shoulders, but there she is with Lauren Weeks with exactly that discussion beforehand. In the race briefing, in the elite briefing, we saw it, you know, at the end of the lunges, the last lunge needs to be in upright position before you're allowed to turn around, otherwise it's an incomplete lunge. Oh, and neither of them right now is willing to just back down even an inch.
Stride for stride right now.
Oh, this is brutal, and we just saw the look over the shoulder from Vivian to Fudo at those two on the grid, you know, and realizing I still have to run another lap before I'm allowed to go into the sandbag lunges. Incredible race that we're seeing from Joanna Whitwick and Lauren Weeks. And Joanna Whitwick now losing a little bit of balance at the sandbag lunges. It's just a sign of her getting tired. Lauren Weeks managed to open the gap by just a lunge or two right now. And this can prove to be real valuable in the end here in the race towards the wall balls and towards victory at the major in Glasgow. Greg, we talked about it right now. The score is 2 for Lauren Weeks, 1 for Joanna Whitwick.
Yeah, and it's from a mentality perspective coming into Chicago, is it going to be 2 apiece or is it going to be 3-1 to Lauren? I think if it's 3-1 to Lauren, like, that's a huge confidence boost going into the World Championships.
Oh, and Joanna Whitwick, she needs to fight now. Lauren Weeks is doing her thing. It's not a huge gap, but it is a bit of a gap. And I want to say it's a little easier on the run for Lauren Weeks to run back up to Joanna than for Joanna to reel in Lauren on the way back. And they still got a lane to go here.
Yeah, she's definitely putting in, she's what, 3, 4, 5 lunges ahead now?
So there on the screen you can see Lauren came into the lunges after 45 minutes and 30 seconds. When she done the world record back in Vienna last year, she ran a 58.03 in total, but she came into the lunges 47.04. So she's like a minute and a half ahead of that pace at the moment.
Wow. Yeah. That is ridiculous.
That's crazy.
I mean, we talked about it. On the one hand, the rock zone being fairly short here, but on the other hand, everybody was talking about the slow and difficult run course that we're having here. And she is out. She is out. I want to see how Joanna Wittrich is going to respond to this now. Here we go. Little motivation from Faisal, but that cost her about, I want to say, 12-ish seconds.
Yeah, I'd say even more with the way that Lauren just ran out of there. She looked like she was really attacking that final run, so it's going to be tough for Joanna to come back, and especially as Greg said, with both of them being able to go unbroken on the wall balls.
But nevertheless, I don't care how this ends right now. Joanna Wittrich is putting on a very different Joanna Wittrich right now that she's showing here. She's been with Lauren Weeks or even ahead to the sandbag lunges, which, you know, if she can keep everything the way it is, it's one workout she needs to improve on to be right up there.
Yeah.
And she's got a pretty good mentor in Tia-Claire Toomey at the moment, so I think her stations are going to only improve, which is pretty exciting for her.
Well, look at that race behind Vivian Tufudo. I think she's done what she needs to do to secure her spot for the World Championship. I mean, this cannot go wrong, I want to say. She put almost in a minute into Sika Arning in the last two, or in the last workout and the last run. Sika Arning definitely struggling right now, and she is now only 30-some seconds ahead of Petro, Pirjani and Massa. Sika Arning really needs to hold it together right now. She's still looking good at those sandbag lunges. Jezebel Kramer, by the way, flying through the sandbag lunges right now.
Her stations have been strong. Her stations have been strong today. That sled push was really impressive. It's just the runs. I guess these other girls are a little bit more younger, a little bit snappier on the run. So she's no mug. She clearly makes up for it on these stations. She's got those knee pads on and she's smashing her knees down. She's not messing about on them lunges at all.
Not at all. Joanna Wittrich, she is fighting. She is fighting, but she's 20 seconds down on Lauren Weeks now.
I mean, Lauren's running as strong as she did on that first lap by the looks of the way that she's attacking the run. So, yeah, again, as I said, I'd be surprised if Joanna can even try and fight back for this last lap.
Oh, this is incredible. Vivian Tufudo, she is out. She's out in third. In Sika Arning, she is fighting.
I'm pretty surprised Tufudo hasn't qualified already. How was her? Can't remember her races before, but she's a hell of an athlete. And
yeah, so in Amsterdam, she didn't. I think she finished in last place. You know, she just wasn't on it at all that day, not for any particularly obvious reason. And then I don't think, off the top of my head, we saw her in Hong Kong, and then in Vegas, it was solid. Yeah. But yeah, after she'd been commonly associated with finishing fourth in the major championships, and then finished third last year in Nice, and so really expected her to push on this season. She hasn't quite done it for whatever reason, but yeah, today she's looking good.
Yeah, it can happen. It looks like she's peaking at the right time, and she looks fresh and strong today. So.
Oh, that was a really strong, really important workout for Sika Arning, who's coming out right behind Lucy Proctor now, out of the sandbag lunges. And I believe she might have opened that gap on the chasers, on Jess Patro, on Camilla Massa, on Sarah Pirjani. And Camilla Massa, the one who is losing the most at the sandbag lunges. She is struggling right now, struggling a lot. And it's going to be a solid gap for Jess Patro and Sarah Pirjani going into the last run in the last workout, and it's between those three for the final qualification spot as it stands right now.
Here we go, the crowd standing up. Lauren Weeks coming into the wall balls. Will she go unbroken with 100?
Lauren Weeks in. Here comes Joanna Wittrich as well. She's into the rock zone already. And Jess Patro is out. She is about, I want to say, roughly 8 to 10 seconds ahead of Sarah Pirjani. And Camilla Massa is still to drop Her back at the lunges. Oh, just a few inches too short. And there she goes. Oh, that's been a rough workout for Camilla Massa when it comes to the qualification spots here.
Yeah, she's not attacking this run after those lunges, so I think that's taken a bit out of her. So it's going to be between...
It's going to be between Sarah Pajani right now and Jess Petro for that final spot. Vivian Tafudo looks safe. Seka Arning's done a great job at the sandbag lunges. She opened the gap on the 3 behind again.
Just to go back to Lauren here and the time, she's entered the wall balls at 52.58, and the world record is 58.03.
Yeah.
So she's well on for a world record.
I think
she's about to challenge Hunter McIntyre.
Yeah, she's going to break the world record here.
Oh yeah, without a doubt. 52.58. I mean, she's got 5 minutes, over 5 minutes for the wall balls, which just doesn't happen even on a worst day. We're going to see a new world record from Lauren Weeks. And we're even going to see Joanna Vittrick stay under the old world record time.
Oh, yeah, almost certainly, yeah. You're looking at probably just over 3 minutes for this station for the both of them.
Yeah, I'd say 3:10, 3:20. Yeah. 3 no reps already for with these screens. It's hard to tell. I think that's the target. If you look on the target, you can see on the left-hand side you've got target, and then on the right-hand side you can see if you get a no rep for depth. So you can actually see what you get a no rep for on these new targets.
Because that's the thing for everybody who's new to the sport. It's not just randomly hitting the target. You need to hit it center, so it's about precision as well.
Yeah, which is hard when you've just ran for 55 minutes or whatever it is, and you're trying to hit the target with a weighted ball. So again, this is probably the most skilled part of the Hyrox event.
And for me, it's always one of the most fun things to see in a race when our elite, for whatever reason, in a double or something with a friend, races open category. It takes them 5, 6, 7 wall balls to dial in the lighter weight. They always overthrow because it's so ingrained into the body and everything is automatic.
You see, we were in Poland and the judges and the photographers were all wearing crash helmets because people throwing the wall ball over the target.
I think that there might be a little bit of an insurance issue somewhere there. All right, Joanna Vittrick, 70 reps in now, but Lauren Weeks on the way to new world record at 85 reps. Faisal, our man on the microphone in here, counting them in. And fantastic to see the grandstand filled up. Over 2,000 spectators in here today on this Wednesday. And the final 5 wall balls for Lauren Weeks, 56.09 is the time right now. That is just ridiculous.
Wow.
And here she goes. You know, she said it before the race. The thing she's looking forward to the most is going home as quickly as possible because she had to travel here without her daughter, and it made her race even faster. Waiting for the official time here, but a time around the 56:21:22 mark. A new world record by over a minute and a half for Lauren Weeks and Joanna Vittrick across the line as well. There we have a new world record, 56:23.
Wow. And that's after not a particularly impressive sled push as well. It wasn't like it was crazy quick. I think it was 2:48 her sled push, so that was about 30 seconds slower than what she did when she set the world record initially in Vienna. So to make up that time elsewhere in the race, presumably on the runs, is incredible.
Oh, and a great run from Jess Petro. She's coming into the rock zone now as well. And we're already seeing Vivian Tafudo and Seka Arning at the wall balls. Vivian Tafudo well in at 37, 38 wall balls already. Lucy Proctor at 12. And Seka Arning now at 12:13 as well as Jess Petro is coming in. Jake, even with a break, Seka Arning, she's got 70 wall balls on Jess Petro. She should be safe.
She should be safe. I think the real battle, like we said a few minutes ago, is between Jess Petro and Zara Piergiani now.
But it's 10 wall balls by the time, at least by the time Sarah Piergiani's getting in. More 12, yeah.
But you never know. Like again, the girls do go unbroken. But if you bonkers, as we saw, it took her 7-8 minutes to do the wall balls in Vegas. So it can happen. So you just got to stay strong, and it's as much as it's a mental thing, it's your body can only take so much. So
in Vegas as well, Zara did the wall balls in 4:16 and Jess was 4:52. So there was a decent amount of time.
Camilla Massa coming in now. She was right in that mix for a World Championship slot for most of the race until the sandbag lunges. And she is grabbing the ball now. That means she's 19 reps behind the qualification spot. Sika Anning halfway through. Vivian 80 wall balls in, 20 wall balls to go for her to qualify for the World Championship.
Yeah, she looks like she's secured her spot now. She looks nice and comfortable.
Yeah, and I mean, like, even Sika Anning, you know, looking at it compared to Las Vegas, she's looking strong, she's going smooth, she's not broken so far.
Yeah, she's even putting reps into Lucy as well, and Lucy's quite good on the wall ball, so.
And Jess Petrov, look at that, 52 in, she's unbroken so far. She keeps the gap on Sarah Perjani, who's taken just a little bit of a breather here. And Jess Petrov dropping it just now, but she's almost matching the time of Linda Meyer next to her, who's an incredible wall ball athlete. Vivian Tafuto, here we go. Not only does she qualify for the World Championship in Chicago, but what an incredible podium race here for Vivian Tafuto.
Under the hour. Very, very strong. A few no reps over there on the back half for
75. 75 for Lucy Proctor. He had to take a couple of breaks. And Sika Anning, 92. She is 8 wall balls away from redemption. She is going to go to the World Championship. There is no doubt after the drama we've seen in Las Vegas with her completely losing it at the wall ball. She's now 3 wall balls away from qualifying. And what a move. She moved herself back into 4th overall at the wall balls. Here she comes. Sika Anning qualifying for the World Championship, and behind it is an incredible race that we're seeing from Jess Petro, who now she is 10 wall balls away from qualifying for the World Championship as well. Linda Meyer gone past Lucy Proctor as well at the wall balls, going unbroken. Lucy Proctor done now.
Oh, she's no rep on the last one. There she goes, she's in. Here's Jess, she's going to qualify and get that final spot.
What a race for Jess Petro. And Sarah Pejani and Camilla Massa, we had them in the double interview before. They were very confident that they could make it happen on the day here today. But what a race from Jess Petro. Start to finish, 10 wall balls left here for Sarah Pejani. You know, it's heartbreak for them. I'm not going to lie, I'm a little bit excited to see athletes like Camilla Massa and Sarah Pejani not qualify yet, because that means Barcelona, last chance qualifier, is going to be even more incredible and even more stacked.
Yeah, Barcelona is going to be tasty, and we're going to see some of those girls that, as you say, broke the open world record, and a few of them come into play as well, whereas the Elite 15 is very difficult to get into now because there's not that many races to get yourself qualified at these latter stages. So yeah, that Barcelona race is going to be pretty packed and pretty heated, so I'm excited to see that as well.
Oh, that's going to be a really exciting race. What a race we've seen here as a kickoff in Glasgow. New world record in the women's race, and it's not going to be too long until we find out if it was just Lauren Weeks' performance or if we're on a really fast track here when we see the boys race with their start in just about half an hour's time.
Yeah, I think on average it looks like it's a pretty quick course. I'd be surprised if we don't see some very, very fast times in the men's course. It's a nice venue, it's pretty cool in here still. There's a nice big audience in the crowd hyping them up as well.
Yeah, that's going to be an exciting race, no doubt. What a race we've seen here so far. We're going to throw down to the studio in a moment with Lauren and Greg. Our man's has moved over already. We've seen the drama with Kate Davey racing in front of the family, rolling her ankle at the sleds, unable to finish the race no matter how hard she tried. Jezebel Kramer, fantastic workouts today. She didn't quite have the run speed, but great stations that we've seen there. and that battle for the World Championship slots.
I want to see a replay of how she got her knee pads on and off.
Oh yeah.
Like how I want to know how she's done that, so I can put some knee pads on myself. Has she put them on as she's running, or is she? I don't know. I didn't see what happened. I just saw that she had them on.
It's a very good point. Few more athletes at the Warballs. Viola Oberländer, she had great workouts, but was lacking the run speed here today. Tanja Strohschneider next to her. One of the roll down spots to race here in the major. Jana Liebenstedt, not the race she wanted, but another one of those athletes who is willing to dedicate herself to the sport. She's switching a lot of things around, you know, working with a big team around her now.
Yeah, I think you can't get away with not going all in on Hyrox now. You can't be doing other sports and trying to compete, because the people at the top, they're all in.
I don't think it's just about not doing other sports. I think we're going to see less and less Elite 15 athletes posting great stories of, you know, walking around cities where we're racing pre-race day. That's a thing of the past as well, because you need to focus on this race, on that duel, if you want to be up there before race day. So when will we see you?
I am racing tomorrow night in pro doubles with Mr. Hunter McIntyre.
All right.
That's if he doesn't kill himself too much in tonight's race. Hopefully he holds a bit back so we can go pretty hard tomorrow night.
Nice.
And then I'm going to race solo this weekend as well. I'm here. I was thinking about going to Copenhagen. I'm one of them where I know it's quite a quick course, and for me the main goal is to get back into the Elite 15. So I've got to go and chase those quick times. And even tonight it looks like, although this was the Elite 15 race and it's different format, it looks as though it's going to be a pretty quick course with those runs. So hopefully can see myself putting down a pretty quick time on Saturday, and then I'll be off to Warsaw to run again the pro race, and then potentially, depending on how fast I run tomorrow, I'll do elite doubles with Hunter in Miami. But I've got to fly there because it's my brother's wedding that week, so I've got to fly the day after his wedding.
Lots of racing coming up. Training's going well. Good luck with that. And with that, we're done on this side because Greg and Lauren are ready for our little race recap. Let's hit it.
Thanks, Phil. Thanks, Jake. Whoa. Obviously, everything is still going on behind us. Maria Fetchik is last out on course, but we have just witnessed, Greg, a new world record. Who could have predicted that?
No, could never have predicted that. We thought it might be a slow course, you know, with all the turns that they had to do on the runs and everything like that. Really, really impressive. And maybe it's a result of just them pushing each other all the way through the race. You know, in other races we've seen maybe one take the lead and then open up a gap, but Joanna and Lauren really pushed each other all the way, and that really obviously drove them on to incredibly fast time.
100 warbles for Maria Fetchik as she crosses the line, but Lauren Weeks, they're part of the same training camp, Fetchik and Weeks. There's something special about her. She's been doing the CrossFit Open the last couple of weeks, and every time she turns up, there's the assumption that she will battle for a podium, and she is one that we always think will go for world records. I just can't get my head around what sets her apart.
No, she's amazing. I mean, she's been very, very high-level athlete for so long in, you know, multiple sports. She was going to run 100 kilometres shortly after Vegas. Unfortunately, was unwell, so couldn't do that. So even to put that performance in today after being unwell for a period of time after Vegas is incredibly impressive, yeah.
We've mentioned the run course, but there must be a bit of mentality to it as well. With constant corners, you're never quite sure where your opposition is. But the fact that Lauren and Joanna got the opportunity to run together for so long, do you think that helps?
I think it helped, but fair play to Lauren, because after the sled push, I think there was maybe a 26 second gap that opened up, and then Lauren slowly chipped away at it. So at first there was a gap. She couldn't see Joanna. She really chased her down, and then gradually chipped away at the time until she caught her, and then, yeah, opened up the gap.
There really is just a sense of calm, because she knows that she's likely to be up against it with the sleds. And she knows that's an area that will happen. But the resolve to then come back afterwards and chip away at time and not fluster herself, how much is that based on experience?
Yeah, I think it is on experience, and we've seen times typically like slip at the sled push so far this season. But yeah, it's incredible performance. Well done, amazing.
Thank you.
A new world record. Did you know?
No, I mean, I felt like we were booking it the whole time, for sure. I don't think I was able to slow down at any moment.
It was incredible. How deep do you have to dig? Like, just comparatively, this to all your previous racing, if it was such a head-to-head battle with Joanna?
It was a lot of digging, and I feel like I've never had a ton of self-talk while I was going, but this one I was like, you can do it. Like, you can do it, push hard. The laps are really small. Just because you can't see her, it doesn't mean she's that far away. So I just kept pushing and hoping for the best.
You've been ill. You've been doing the CrossFit Open in your spare time. You've obviously been training for this, but did you expect a kind of result like this to come off the back of probably a slightly different training block?
No, not at all. But as I was telling Joanna when we came across the finish line, like, this is the best race I've ever been in like any sport in my entire life. Like, it was so close and so much back and forth, and like both of us digging deep the whole time. Like, it was painful and like so much fun at the same time.
This is obviously what it means to be a Hyrox athlete.
Yes.
Now, I know that your husband, Anthony Pericini, and daughter Lily are watching from home. Have you got any words for them?
So if you see me do this, that's I love you.
Oh, we're on a recap of your race.
Oh, yeah.
We'll do that in a minute. Like, look at this, an unbelievable pickup there. This is where you really...
A lot of pain face.
A lot of pain face.
Yeah.
But the pace out of this section, knowing you're going into the final parts of the course, it's a long way from the finish, but it's the time in which you needed to turn on those afterburners.
Yeah, and I'm very conscious of the fact that, like, I don't have the reach that Joanna does, so lunges are not always a strong point for me. I tried really hard to keep my cadence up as quick as possible. I would love to see the split of this to see if I was able to cut time off of what my normal time is, because I felt like I moved faster, but I don't know until I see the splits.
I think it was a 3:25 lunge.
For lunge?
Yeah, and then I must say, it's incredibly strong on the run coming out of it as well. Like, you come out right in front of us, and like, it was like you were sprinting. It was like it hadn't slowed you down.
Well, I had to. She can do unbroken wall balls. I don't have a choice.
Yeah. Okay, let's tell Lily how much we love her.
Lily, I love you so much. I know you're up right now.
Thank you so much, and a huge congratulations.
Thank you.
A new world record, beating your old one, and what a way to sign off the majors season.
No, I'm so excited for Chicago, and I'm so excited to see the last chance qualifier.
Well, let me take that from you. Thank you very much. Go and enjoy a little bit of rest, and I hope your flight back is wonderful.
Well done.
Greg, so a new world record holder, and now 3 from 4 for Lauren Weeks. An unbelievable season she is having, the one to beat in Chicago.
Oh, for sure, the one to beat. I mean, we probably always thought she would be, and then with Megan getting injured so far this year, she's like really ultimately still managed to dominate, even with Joanna, chasing her down and really providing some great competition.
Let's talk about the qualifiers. Vivian Tafuto. An incredible performance. She pushed ahead on the sleds, and she just never seemed to relent, and she needed that today. This was a very big day for the American.
Yeah, we talked about before the race, she finished third at the World Championships in Nice, and then we'd expected her to book a qualifying spot already, and so to do it today was really, really impressive. Well done.
Guess who's with us in studio? And it is Vivian Tafuto. A smile on your face.
How could I not? It's a good day for me.
A very good day for you. What changed today? Because we saw you in Amsterdam and it didn't quite work out.
No, not great.
And you've kind of been working your way back into the field, but to go home with a qualifying spot and end up on the podium in 3rd position, that's the Vivian Tafuto of old.
That's a nice day for me. Yeah. I had some Achilles problems. I took some time off running after Amsterdam. Vegas, I mean, I was a little bit sick, but I could just tell my running was not there yet. And then literally the week after that, I was outside on a run. I was like, oh, okay, I could run again. And so the last few weeks, I've really just been feeling better about my running. And I felt like today I was kind of back in the shape that I wanted to be in. And that was the easiest Hyrox of my entire life. I swear. I was like, is this real life? I think I figured out that I have to be, I have to stay chill, and I have to not already be dead by the burpees. Otherwise, I can and I will do a 5-minute burpee. So that was the plan today, and I ended up on the top end of the field a lot earlier than I thought I would, and then I just kind of rolled with it, and it felt really great, and I did my wall balls unbroken. So pretty happy.
Were you conscious through the race of who you were racing against for the qualifying spots and where they were? Were you conscious of that?
Yeah, I was definitely very cognizant of where everybody was in the field. But yeah, towards the end, I just started opening it up, and I felt amazing. So towards the end, I was just like, all right, let's just roll with this and see if I can get on the podium today. And I'm pretty happy to have done that. So, yeah.
Well, I am delighted to say we will see you in Chicago.
Thanks.
Go and enjoy the moment. I'll borrow that from you.
Thank you, guys.
Well done.
Sika Arning. This was an incredible performance because we have seen such a variation from her. She's always been really strong throughout the front of the race and tended to have tailed off. Las Vegas was probably not something she wanted to remember. How impressed are you with how she performed today?
I'm very impressed. It felt like she ran a controlled race. It felt like she paced it very well. She was, I think in third spot early on, controlled it really well and looked solid throughout.
That you did, Miss Sika Arning. An unbelievable performance. That ticket is in your hand. What's the emotion?
Thank you. I'm very happy because of Vegas was so bad. Now I'm very happy. So the third from the sleds and I think the 4th or 5th place. I'm not sure. I don't know my time, but I'm very happy. So yeah, I got the spot.
What changed between Las Vegas and coming and racing here?
I eat much more before the race. And just a little bit more healthy, but more carbs. And yeah, I'm feeling not that bad or not that good, but now I have the spot, so very happy.
Is there a particular station you've been working on? Is it your running? Is it the sleds? Is it a particular area you've worked on?
Much running. Running is every time the running. I will learn much running, and burpees also, and a little bit of the wall balls, but. Yeah, I love the wall balls and do it in every training unbroken, but just in Las Vegas, and now I had a little bit much more on wall balls. Yeah.
You were amazing to watch.
I
want you to go and enjoy every bit of this moment, and we will see you in Chicago.
Yes, thank you. I'm very happy to be in Chicago, and I love to run, yeah.
I love to run.
I love to run.
You love haggis?
Huh?
Haggis. The Scottish food. Have you tried it?
I don't try it.
No.
What is it?
Understandably so. You don't want to know. You don't want to know. Let me take that from you.
Thank you so much.
Well done.
Greg, to round out our qualifiers for the World Championships in the final major of the season, Jess Petro. And I don't want to say she came out of nowhere, but she was another level tonight.
Yeah, she was. And I touched on how good Lauren looked coming out of the stations on her runs and looked so fast. And Jess was the same, particularly towards the end of the race there. It looked like she was sprinting. And when we thought she could, maybe Zara would claw back some time, and Jess was like, no, you're not going to. And then really pushed it on the runs for sure.
There was a real battle between her, Camila Massa, Zara Piergiani in the middle part of the race. At what point did you feel that she set herself apart?
I think it was towards the end of the race. We maybe thought that Zara would claw back some time, particularly on the lunges, but Jess, who's just joined us, just didn't let up towards the end of the race at all.
Yeah, you know what? I felt really good early on in the race, and I knew it was my day today, so I just kept pushing it, and I knew that if I could hold on, I would finish strong, and I'd get my spot tonight.
It will make a certain training group very happy.
Yes, proven fitness.
Because you have just kind of joined in with a real force of nature of group of athletes. Do you find it's getting the best out of you? Has it changed anything about how you've been approaching your racing?
Yeah, definitely. I always believe to be the best, surround yourself with the best, and it's not just the training program, but it's the mentality that all the athletes of that group have. I'm noticing my training and my mentality just rising to different levels that is just helping me become a better athlete.
Is that your feeling of the major change? Like you've performed solidly throughout the majors so far this season. Is it the mentality that helped benefit you today, or was there a particular station or anything that you think?
Yeah, you know what, I really do think so. Like I came in with, I feel definitely a different mentality tonight. Like I wanted this so bad. Not that it didn't in the other majors, but I was going to make it happen tonight. So I really felt like that showed out there on the floor today.
It would have been a long old flight from the US to Barcelona to duke it out in the LCQ.
That's it too. I did not want to go to Barcelona.
Well, best of luck. We can't wait to see you stateside. It'll be a little bit closer to home for you, I imagine.
Yep, definitely.
Go and enjoy your moments.
Thank you, guys. Thank you very much.
Well done.
Thank you so much. Greg, well, we have heard from our qualifiers and we have heard from our winner, Lauren Weeks. It has been, I guess, nothing short of a phenomenon to come to Glasgow to set a world record in this hub of Hyrox. My bad, we've just been talking about CrossFit, haven't we? This hub of Hyrox. And with so many community races coming through, 19,000 of them over the next couple of days, I'm not sure it gets more special than that. And when you look at the elite women's results, those top two, Lauren Weeks, Joanna Wettrick, it's going to be a battle to the end in Chicago, especially when we bring Megan Jacoby back into the picture. Yeah,
it really is. And it is such a strong field throughout. But the gap that Lauren and Joanna had tonight really showed like just how good they are. Like to be a few minutes ahead of the rest of this field, and they opened up that gap quite quickly was phenomenal from the both of them tonight. And they, like we touched on, they really pushed each other on. I think it was a great race.
Unbelievable racing, unbelievable venue, and there is so much more to come, Greg, because not long we will be back for all of the men's racing still to come, but it's going to be after this short break.
Osteonesis, Hera, Hermes, Icarus, Narcissus, Medusa, Epazos, Ashalala, Cissus, Minerva, Ecopus. I love it when you kiss this.
Here she goes.
No new year, new me. You're already the main character. You didn't stop before and you ain't stopping now because this ain't about anybody else. This is all about you. Unlock your main character energy at MyProtein.
In the land of kilts and haggis, where the bagpipes play and the weather keeps you guessing, a new kind of warrior has emerged. Meet Graham Halliday, Glasgow's own fitness phenomenon. Now, as the Hyrox Elite 15 descends upon Glasgow, Graham stands ready to make his homeland proud. Let's see what you've got.
So we're in the hometown of Graham Halliday, Mr. Hyrox of Scotland, and the elite men are getting ready to take the stage. We've got the American Hunter McIntyre back in action for a second time this season, and he is going to be fighting it out amongst 15 athletes for that top spot, but 9 out of the group looking to secure a spot to the World Championships in Chicago in June. And amongst them, Ryan Kent, Michael Sambach, Rich Ryan, Yannick Chapler. There are so many storylines, but we're going to get our teeth into this battle for the top step. Both are already qualified, Hunter McIntyre and James Kelly. The USA athlete versus the Australian, and both big personalities.
Yeah, big personalities and, you know, incredible athletes. I think they probably are the two favourites for tonight. JK performed really well in Amsterdam, and he took the win at the Hong Kong Major. Finished 4th in Las Vegas, but it wasn't his strongest race, whereas Hunter, first time we saw him was in Las Vegas. He took 2nd that day, and I think it's going to be a great battle between the two of them today for sure.
James Kelly arguably didn't reach his own expectations in Las Vegas. No. Are we expecting to see him come back in a bigger way than potentially otherwise?
I think he'll certainly want to. You know, he's already installed himself as one of the favourites for the World Championships this year, I think. It wasn't his strongest race in Las Vegas. No obvious reason why that was, I don't think. I mean, obviously, there's been a lot of travel. You can't always perform at your best every single time. He still performs strongly, but I think just mentally going into Chicago, I think he'll want to take the win over Hunter today. I think that will give him a big confidence boost for sure.
Now, we're in the United Kingdom, and there are 4 Brits who are going to want to make their mark. But at the top of that list, it is Graham Halliday, Mr. Scotland himself.
Yeah. I think Graham is very, very excited to race in Glasgow, in his hometown. Like he's going to have an awful lot of support here tonight. He's very, very excited for it. I don't think he's been able to run as much in his training lately as he wanted to because of injury, but he'll be looking to put in a performance for tonight.
Now, there's a number of names on that list. Michael Sandbach is one of them, and John Wynne, Yannick Chapler. There's a huge amount of gentlemen who will be looking to make their mark and take that ticket. Ryan Kent, Rich Ryan, big names. But Michael Sandbach has to be one of those that in front of a home crowd could get the job done. Yeah, for sure. And if we think back to Nice, he finished second that day, nearly took the win. Like on his day, he's an incredible athlete, but we've not seen the best of him anywhere near so far this season. You know, either if he turns up, he can take the win, but there's also a good chance that he won't even finish the race. You know, he's finished 3 of the last 8 races he started. So what Sandy are we going to get today? We'll see. Not just Sandy, Jake Dearden running in front of a home crowd and so narrowly missing out. He has got to be one of the top names on the list when you're thinking about those qualifying spots. But there's not much time to wonder because the men are about to come out into this coliseum of noise. Mr. PMA, Faisal's on the mic. Let's get this show on the road.
Make some noise from the UK. We have Jake Dearden. From Wales, make some noise for Afan Humphreys. From Australia, it's John Wynne. And from New Zealand, give it up for Bo Wills. Irish in the building, Sean Noble. Stepping on to the stage is Tim Winnish. Also from Germany we have Yannick Chapler. USA! Give it up to Rich Ryan! Followed by his fellow American, Ryan Kent! Viva España! Hunter McIntyre! And now from Spain, Peleo Mendes! Australia brings James Kelly!
right, let's get ready to race one more time here tonight. It is time for the men's elite race. And what a spectacular race it's going to be, no doubt, after what we've seen in the women's race. I got Greg with me again. I got Jake with me. And I think we're quickly going to listen to Jake Dearden. We caught up with him just before the race. One of the, he still is a local, I want to say, living 3 hours or born and raised 3 hours away from here. Let's see what he had to say. A little bit to the pressure. You're not qualified yet. You know, everybody's looking at you. Is it going to happen today?
Yes, it is going to happen today. Yeah, hopefully anyway. That's what I'm praying for.
And we've heard so much about the Scottish crowds. What can we expect from them tonight, from the spectators?
Oh, the Scottish are the best people on the planet. Like they're unbelievable. Yeah, the crowds are going to be amazing.
So, just quickly back to the race. If you're going to make it here, you know, if this is the qualifier, how is the race going to unfold for you? Where are you going to strike?
I think I'm going to run my own race, so take it a little bit easier at the start, and then I like to push the second half. So that's where I'll try and take people.
And then just the final question. We heard this morning, somebody said, you know, Scotland is a country of haggis and kilts, but somebody else said there's so much more. What's the best thing about Scotland?
Oh, I'd probably say the mountains. I think the scenery in the mountains, the countryside. I think that's, and the people. The people are the best, like I said.
All right, there you have it. Watch Jake qualify tonight, and then go check out, you know, nature and the mountains around. Good luck to you tonight.
Cheers, mate. Thank you. Appreciate that.
Well, he was talking about the home crowds, and we just heard them. It's insane. Everybody was saying, you know, the Scottish, they know how to celebrate, how to party. This is going to be a wild one if the boys from Scotland do well.
Yeah, if Graham does well, I'm excited. That crowd was nuts. I've not seen anything like that yet in the Hyrox space, so I think he's pretty locked in, and we're going to see some fast times because that world record got smashed in the women's race.
This is wild. Like, if we see anything similar in the men's race, we're down to about 51-ish minutes, somewhere in the 51-30 range or something. Considering, you know, like Alex Rankovic raced in Vienna in the Open, trying to break the 50 minutes, and we might get as close as 51-30 or something in the pro category now.
Yeah, and it doesn't seem that long ago we were talking about, you know, breaking 60 minutes was an incredible achievement, and it is. But now we're talking about, you know, low 50s. It's unbelievable.
We're going to see how fast it is to start in about 20 seconds, and the bets, you know, we're still taking bets on how long Sean Noble is going to keep his T-shirt on. Heading into the final 5 seconds. And here we go. All right. Did anybody tell Tim finish? It's not a 100-meter sprint.
Every time, Tim. Again, he's lucky he's qualified already, so he can do whatever the hell he wants, and he can push these guys, and he normally leads from the front and then goes pretty hard on the ski. For a small bloke, he can really shift that ski, so
There's one thing I want to get explained from him, and I know he always watches the rerun after the race of this, so I can basically ask him on air. He always goes to the front and runs, but he turns around a lot and looks at where the competition is on the run.
Maybe he doesn't know where his ins and outs are. he's confusing himself with running so fast.
3 laps, 4 laps, how many have we done?
Yeah. Again, James is similar to Lauren. If you watch the women's race, the way he attacks the runs, and he looks as if he's almost sprinting. And he does. If you watch him go into his rock zone as well, it's exactly the same. Like, he really, really attacks every run and every station, or into the station, should I say.
And I think these guys are learning, like, the way that you beat Hunter is, like, I think you do it early in the race, you know. I don't think you can try and let him open up a gap, because he's so strong on the ski and potentially on the sleds as well. Like, if he opens up a gap, he's hard to catch. But if you can break him early, then that's the way to beat him.
Or you stay with him like Dylan did, and, you know, then just use the last 3 workouts to say bye-bye.
Yeah, but only a set few individuals are even close to trying to stick on his tail. So I think he should have it in the bag tonight. I know James didn't have his best race in Vegas, but he's going to have a little bit to prove on this one, especially as we get closer to World Champs. He's going to want to put down a pretty decent time.
And, you know, Sean Noble, we just saw him there. Drama. He was the one who created drama in Las Vegas. We saw Kate Davey in the race here today. In Vegas, it was Sean Noble rolling his ankle, doing warm-up burpees or something.
Yeah. Burpees the night before.
Oh. Yeah, he's not the only one. I know Graham does like a full run through in his hotel room. So, but I think Sean's had a bit of a dodgy ankle before anyway. So. Yeah, it wasn't probably the wisest move, and I think he's got it heavily strapped tonight. So with all these turns, I don't think it's going to be the best course for him with a dodgy ankle. So hopefully we see him. It's always nice to see everyone get to the end of the race. I know we've saw quite a few dropouts in Vegas, but watching a full race is always better than watching 10 or 12.
But he said he'll know at the sled what it's like, but he did a full race simulation and it worked. The foot held up. That's incredibly fast. Within 4 weeks, that would be very impressive. There he is, coming around that turn.
Yeah, well, he's gone out hard because these boys are going fast, and he's not gone with the backpack. He's kind of stuck somewhere in the middle. And we've got Afan as well, who's now quite a familiar face within the Elite 15. Quite a quiet character, but again, someone that could probably go under the radar again tonight. I know in Hong Kong he went out pretty hot and found himself pretty high up in the field in even up to the rower, I think.
Yeah. I mean, it's really the Warbles where Afan lost a lot of time in Amsterdam, but yeah, he's putting a good shift early doors. One thing that Sandy has to remember here is he's not racing like these three guys in front of him. But if he wants the qualifying spot, like those three in front of him have already got their spot. And I think there's a temptation with Sandy to go out quite hard and try and race and try and push it early in the race. But
yeah, I don't think it's a bad idea to kind of to go and try and stay with and just kind of try and cling on. I don't know what shape he's in. I don't think he even knows what shape he's in, to be honest. And he probably admits that himself. So with him, it's more headspace rather than fitness. The guy's an absolute animal. So I'm not surprised if he stays with them.
Oh, and I love seeing, what we've just seen on that run in the last couple of turns. There's a couple of elbows coming out. There's a little bit of physical contact on that run. Everybody's trying to make a statement here. Let's say, I'm here. I'm ready for racing. First it was Hunter towards James Kelly, and then James towards Tim Venus as he was going through the inside.
Look at Hunter putting a 138 there.
Wow.
He said he was going to pull a 136 to 138, yeah. So, again, Tim pulling a 141 is he did it in Vegas, and I don't know if it's the best tactic for him. I know he's obviously probably got a higher cadence than the others with a smaller frame, but
I wonder if there's a correlation between Hunter getting faster and faster the more his mullet grows. The longer the mullet, the more aerodynamic you are.
Yeah, I'm growing mine out. I don't know if you can see, but
that's where I go wrong. I've not got much hair.
that's a benefit. Streamlined. Look at Sandy.
But I love how he adapts to his surroundings. He spends a couple of days in Australia. Bam, there you go, stash and a mullet.
Yeah, instant.
Ready to go.
The bulk pony's back.
So he keeps that up. We're seeing Hunter McIntyre going out onto that run first. And then Tim Venus, if they keep the pace the way they are. Sandy really pushing hard there as well. James Kelly as well.
Not a huge amount in it, but John Wynn there coming in 15th. Like we know he's struggling with illness a little bit in the last couple of days, and he wasn't feeling 100% coming into the race. So I wonder if that's affecting him more than he might have hoped.
Yeah, I don't think he'll be too worried. His again, with the illness, it might be something playing on his mind, but we know that his sled pull is so strong, so he'll kind of cruise up until that point, and then he'll see where he's at, and then probably make a decision on from there.
And we've got a similar setup as we saw in the women's race. So we got 6 athletes in the race here, qualified for the World Championship already. So theoretically, 9th place can still take you to the World Championship here again, which also means for the athletes behind, it's important to look around who's around you. So James Kelly, Tim Venus, Graham Halliday, Palau Menendez, Hunter McIntyre and Bo Wilds all qualified already.
And again, you would probably predict a lot of those to be in that top 6 already, so we could see some names that we might not expect getting some qualification spots, which is cool.
So what do you think? Hunter McIntyre out on the run first. Tim Venus is going to be probably about 5 seconds behind. Is Tim Vinish going to try to make that move and run straight past Hunter again? He loves being first into the workout stations, doesn't he?
I think Hunter's probably, knowing him, going to go pretty hard on this next run.
And there he goes.
Here comes Sandy as well. And Ryan Kent.
Did Tim Vinish just take the time for a quick fist pump with a spectator there? That's a sign of confidence right there. Thomas Trudick, really good ski erg. James Dearden is out. Here comes Graham Halliday. Joao Bow, 3 of the qualified athletes.
Yeah, John is struggling.
And John last out of the workout. Yeah, he was not happy just before the race when we chatted. He said, like, he thinks it cost him too much training, too much energy. All right, here they come. Hunter McIntyre, Tim Vinish. 4 run laps to run. Sandy right behind.
Could this be Ryan Kent's comeback race?
I mean, right now, I think he'd be happy to stop the race right now and keep the score as is.
Yeah, he started well in Vegas, and then wouldn't say he dropped off, but the other guy's probably just a bit too quick.
Yeah, and there's been other races that he's not finished and things like that. So he's obviously feeling confident enough to start this fast at the moment. You know, it would be easy to feel cautious and maybe try and hold back in the early stages, but he's obviously not feeling that. Like he's going for it for sure.
And you know, Tim Vinish, I chatted twice to him before the race. I bumped into him at the airport, and now just before the race, and it was a different level of confidence when I asked him if he's ready, if he's fit, because he was a little bit ill in the last 2 weeks, but he said he recovered perfectly. He felt great in the last simulations. A lot of confidence he had going into the race here. So it'll be interesting to see if he is back to where he was, you know, a season ago.
Yeah, he put something up on his socials, and this is the 4th. He's done all 4 majors now, which for him is massive, considering we've seen him go down with injuries and miss races. He's missed the last 2 World Champs because of injuries, so he's qualified. I don't think he needs to go crazy and like risk anything, but it's also nice to see him kind of fit and healthy, and he's one of those, an absolute like OG of the sport, where he's probably him, Hunter, Sandy, Ryan, the names that you kind of turn to when you think about Hyrox. So yeah, it's nice to see him back on the big stage and running well with Hunter now.
Obviously, you know, missing the world champion in the lineup here, Alex Ronkovic.
Yeah, he'll be gutted he's missing this now that it's looking like a fast course.
You know, Bill Wills is right where he needs to be. We all know his race starts round about the halfway point of the race.
Yeah, you can't count him out too early at all.
And I think if you look at the pictures, I think Rich Ryan and Palau Menendez have the same running coach.
Yeah, they do run very similar.
Very tiptoey.
Yeah, I think Paleo on his day is probably the fastest runner on the course. Him and Tim are probably the fastest out-and-out runners.
A really good run there from James Kelly on the way into the workout, going past Micah Sampak.
I told you, he attacks those rock zones. Like, it gains him an extra 5 seconds every single station. Look, he's pushed the sled at exactly the same time as Hunter now.
So this is what we talked about beforehand. You know, Hunter taking that short break, that is not a sign that he's tired already. He's playing it smart. He's making sure not to flush the legs too much. Tim Vinish did not take that break. But taking it now, just a quick one.
Sandy looking like he's moving the sled pretty well. Up now with Hunter.
James Kelly right there as well.
Sometimes it's interesting to look at the back half of the race, because some people like to make a move. You see Jake Dearden kind of catching up to Sandy. Is that Rich Ryan at the back also making a move? He's just up the same. Again, it's so early on in the race, it looks like they're further back, but they can really make some time up here.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at it, you know, the way it stands here, 1, 2, and 3 in the race at the moment, they're qualified already.
Another pulse from Hunter there.
I forget that I'm on commentary. I want to start shouting. And
Oh, yeah. But Michael is moving the slat real well right now. He's gone past Hunter. He's gone past James Kelly. Tim moving the slat really well as well. And then obviously we want to see how Sean Noble is doing. You know, he's pushing. He's going for it.
Yeah, his best 2 stations are probably the push and the pull, so I wouldn't be surprised if he catches up here, but he does look like he's struggling a little bit.
Well, fair enough with that ankle.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did tell me, though, he thinks that maybe he could benefit from the sled from all the bike work that he's been doing where he's not been able to run. So.
But Tim Vanish, he's going all Dylan Scott on us here with the crowds right now. And he's just cheering them on again. He's feeling it. He's feeling the day.
Yeah, and Sandy's gone out ahead of Hunter as well. Looks like Hunter's got a little bit of a limp going on, but...
James Kelly just looks like a bulldozer coming out. He's like ready to go in for the kill every second of the race.
Noble's tops off. Where's your bets? 13 minutes 30.
Yannick Chatlow, though, and Rich Ryan there coming out. They pulled back some time on that push.
There's some big screens for Graham there after that push as well. Very much a home course for him.
Tim Vanish, here he comes. .37, 17 seconds on Hunter and Michael. Not too bad.
That's John Wynn there on the screen. Looks like he's struggling.
Yeah. Yeah, it's unfortunate. I think it was probably inevitable, but gutting for him, man, because he probably was going to be the one that qualified today if he was shot on good shape. He just ran a 56.30 in Poland the week before last, so.
Yeah, and like he's just narrowly missed out in the majors. So like I think it was a few seconds that in Hong Kong he missed out on qualifying. So and he was certainly one of the favourites for getting that spot today.
If you remember last year though, he qualified in Anaheim at the last chance. So I wouldn't be surprised if he does exactly the same and goes to Barcelona in a couple of weeks and takes his spot there. He's not afraid of it.
Even just going into the Elite 15, you know, he keeps making it a last minute thing. So he does well with the pressure. But if we look at it, so Tim Vanish, he's through. Hunter McIntyre is through. James Kelly is through. So Michael Sandbach and
Yannick
Schaffer is looking good right now. And Rich Ryan, that would be the ones right now. Ryan Kent right behind. So is Humphreys. Still a great race from Noble.
Yeah, he's running well. Just past Affan Humphreys as well.
Tim Vanish just making sure he's counting the laps right.
Now we've got a race. These four are looking... This is going to be tight.
Hunter putting just a few meters into Michael. And James Kelly coming from behind. He's going to be with Michael the next time they're coming around here. James Kelly also very confident going into the race.
Oh, Sandy just looked like he rolled his ankle a little bit there. Dangerous course.
Very dangerous course, apparently. All right, I think next time coming around, yes.
Here we go, yep, Tim's into
Hunter's
the sled
going to go in as well. Tim Vanish is at the sled pull already.
Here we go, James Kelly. Push on the rock zone.
James there, I think, just reaching inside his pocket for some chalk. I think he put some chalk in his pocket so he doesn't have to stop when he gets to this level.
Fine margins, isn't it?
Yeah,
you have to stop and put your hand in a bucket and then go to the sled.
He's like a rolling buffet. He's got the chalk, he's got the gel, he's got the drinks. You know, he's got it all on him in the race.
Yeah. See, Hunter and Sandy, I don't think even went for chalk. Maybe Sandy did, but. This can be a big separator. I struggle with the sled pull personally, and I was racing against John last week, and I thought I put down a pretty good sled pull time, and he still took 35 seconds off me, which is crazy. So something I need to work on, and something that can, again, there's a few stations throughout Hyrox which are the key separators.
All right, Hunter caught back there for a second. But he's moving the sled really well in the pole right now. James Kelly's gone past Michael now in that first lane off the pole. Tim Vinish is moving it well, but he's losing a little bit of ground or of his advantage on Hunter McIntyre.
Yeah, we've watched Sean Noble as well. A few of these guys in the back half of the race will come through, I reckon, here. Jake Dearden in Bilbao went into the sled pull in like 8th, came out in 2nd, I think, so.
And when we could definitely see, say, Tim Vinish, a much better race than we've seen in Vegas from him. The sleds are going real well for him. But if you look at Hunter, he's crawling back a little bit of distance there. So is James Kelly. He's getting closer and closer. I think this is going to be a really exciting one after 4 lanes heading back out onto the run. 1, 2, 3, and depending on how it goes for Michael, 4 will be really close together. You know, if you look at behind, if you look at who wants to qualify, Yannick Sabla, Ryan Kent, Rich Ryan, we got Sean Noble, we got Humphreys, we got Tverdik in there, and all within 13 seconds looking at this qualification, those qualification spots. And if Sandy can stay where he is, it's like 2 spots for 6 athletes right now who are really close together.
With it being 4 laps, the runs make it look like people are probably further back than they actually are. And with people taking 10, 15 seconds off on stations, it's a lot closer than we actually think.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And Hunter McIntyre, he's got his time back on Tim Vinish, who's out now. Oh, Tim Vinish gets caught back there as well. The sled wasn't all the way back. That cost him a couple of seconds.
How are we looking at world record pace, Greg?
So they're leaving there at 20 minutes. And world record pace leaving the sled pull is 19:37, so it's very, very close at the moment, within seconds.
All right, James Kelly coming out. And Michael done now as well. And who's going to be next after? Here we go. Oh, what a move. Fantastic. From Thomas Tverdik, Sean Noble. Rich Ryan coming through as well. Ryan Kent now done as well. Yannick Sabla is the man losing ground at the sled pull right now. Valuable seconds he's losing. Bo Wilt is done now as well. Dearden coming through. Palau coming through. Oh, that was a rough sled pull for Yannick Sabla.
I think Rich Ryan was wearing golf gloves. I mean, I know I wear gloves on the, but I just wear your £1 B&Q gloves, to be honest, but might invest in some expensive golf gloves to look a bit more fashionable.
Yeah, but fair enough. But they set you back like, 25 quid, and they're going to last for about a race.
30 seconds, yeah. Could get a golf glove sponsorship though, so
good point.
You never know.
Good point.
Maybe that's what he's after.
Well, they've come off now. They're back in the golf bag.
So this race for the qualifying spots is really on. So that top 3 have already got their spots. But then, like from Michael Sandbach, 22 seconds behind, then Thomas Tverdik, Sean Noble, Rich Ryan, Ryan Kent. With what's that, 17 seconds between the 4 of those.
Yeah, it's a tight race. Even Jake as well within 30 seconds of Sandy. So 30 seconds isn't a lot when you've got another load of stations to come. It's going to be a good race. I'm excited.
And there's more of a differentiator as well as the wall balls here on the men's side than the women's. Like, and the women's, a lot of them are going unbroken now, but on the men's, that's not necessarily the case. So
no, big gaps.
Yeah.
And even the burpees, like for someone like Sean, he's going to come in and the standards are a lot more strict within these races.
Yeah.
So he's going to have to get his hands directly to his feet, and it's a mental mind game because your technique's a little bit different. So you could potentially, I'll probably see him drop off a little bit on the burpees as opposed to the guys that have done the grid format before and know the racing. I know I experienced it when I first came into it, and it's tough.
Yeah.
It's not as easy as they make it look, I tell you.
But you got to be rooting for Noble just a little bit. You know, after that story in Vegas, I mean, he had this whole beautiful weekend planned out, first major and everything.
Girlfriend was out with him.
Girlfriend was out. There might have been a ring in his pocket.
Yeah.
You know? And then
instead he spent it all on medical bills and yeah, bless him. But it's the nature of sport. I mean, if Kate hadn't qualified today and she'd rolled her ankle, like,
oh yeah,
it happens. John Wynne hasn't qualified. It's part of what kind of makes it a little bit exciting as well, and the comeback stories, it makes it a little bit more sweet as well. There he is, Sean having a bit of his gel at 23 minutes. Again, as you said, a bit earlier on in the race. Remember they've already warmed up for about 20-25 minutes, getting their heart rates up, so they've been working for around an hour already now. So having a gel at this point is probably pretty wise.
And they're coming back into the workout. Time for the burpees. And do me a favor, take a look at Michael when he's coming through here, what you think about his body language.
I mean, he's definitely dropped off from James on this last run. But he needs to remember that he's not racing these three, as we said. He's done well to keep up with them for now, but he's got to he's only 30 seconds ahead of Jake, who's in 9th place.
Is it just me, or has it turned a little more into a jog than a full-on race?
Yeah, he doesn't look as snappy, does he? I think he'll turn into a race when he sees these guys coming up behind him. Hunter's changed his technique again, so he's no longer doing his little frog jumps. He's stepping up. You saw that when he raced in Melbourne.
Oh, look at that duel at the burpees. Top three so close together. Oh,
I think Tim got caught back there. I think he turned around. Did he turn before he was meant to?
I don't know, but he got called back again. So that's his second mistake within 2 workouts now. He left the sled a little bit short.
It's amazing how much it can impact your race, though, if you have one little mistake and your head, you're already kind of in that. I mean, these guys are going to be in the red zone now. They're in zone 5. Their heart rate's working to the max. Their mind is completely focused on the race. And if you mess up and then it changes your rhythm, it can really impact you. And you saw Tim have a little bit of a shout, which is a bit German of him, should I say?
Yeah. That's what we do, right?
Yeah. And James Kelly making a move here on the burpees. We know he's quick, and he's gone ahead of both Tim and Hunter.
It's really interesting. If you look at it, how differently they do it. Like, you know, Hunter, feet really close together.
Yeah.
And then you look at James, it's just like legs wide spread for the jump and the landing as well. And I wonder if we can maybe get a closer look at what happened to Tim Veinish. Is there a replay of Tim Veinish being caught back at the
Is that Paleo making a bit of a big move on his burpees?
He's very good on the burpees, and I think Rich Ryan has passed Michael Sandbach there as well.
Yeah, Sean Noble looks okay. He's going up to his knee now, though, so it's often a sign of fatigue unless you
Well, look at James Kelly flying out of the rock zone. What a move at the burpees. Tim Veinish, despite being caught back, now manages to go past Hunter. They're going to go out more or less the same time. Hunter 1 burpee behind. Palau doing really well behind. Here we go. Tim Vinish next out. Just grabbing a gel from the table there. And here we go with Hunter. And here we go, Pelayo coming out, the former triathlete.
Yeah, that was fast. I want to see what those burpees are.
Burpees are, is it fair to say they're more of an endurance element than a strength element within Hyrox?
I think so. I think if you go too fast, it's going to jack your heart rate up for sure. You have to find your rhythm, and it's just same with everything. You've just got to get quicker without it affecting your heart rate too much. So again, it's same old technique with pretty much every station. It's trying to move efficiently and faster without it going into the 95%, sit at that 80 to 90. Jake Dearden making a bit of a move as well, and Graham coming through, as you can hear with the crowd.
It was a 2-minute 50 burpee from James Kelly, which was 22 seconds quicker than Tim's burpee broad jump. That's a decent chunk of time to make up on one station. Yeah.
Especially when his runs have been good as well.
James Kelly is flying now on the track, going past Thomas Turdick. And he's going to lap Michael in a second. He's just about 10 meters behind Michael now. Oh, that's got to sting.
Yeah, so Sandy's dropped down to 6th now.
And that's where he's got to keep his head, right? Like we've seen him like pull out of races. Like I think he's typically more comfortable like racing at the front. But then as these guys have gone past him, can he keep his head? Because he's still very much in the race for the qualifying spots.
I mean, he did have a bit of a whirlwind time. Sandy, hectic couple of months behind him.
I mean, we know how good he is.
Oh yeah.
Like that World Championships performance was something else, and if he didn't have that sled pull time, he would probably be world champion right now. So he needs to just stay in the race and hopefully come out. And then if he doesn't qualify today, I'm pretty certain he will in Barcelona.
Yeah, but I mean, if you look at it, Kelly, Vanish, McIntyre, and Menendez, so top 4 qualified already. So right now he's where he needs to be. He just needs to keep it together.
That was a 2-minute 44 burpee from Pelayo, by the way.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's 35 seconds quicker
than Tim in Hunter. Yeah. 6 seconds quicker than James Kelly.
Wow. Did he miss a length?
Yeah.
That's on grid as well, so that's including the rock toe.
Yeah.
Wow.
So as it stands, those top 4 have already put their qualifying spots because Pelayo's already qualified as well. So in terms of trying to qualify for Chicago, it's Rich Ryan in the first spot there, Michael Sandbach, then Thomas de Verdict. Bo Wills has already got his spot.
Flying into the rowing station here.
Oh, absolutely. He is literally not willing to give up a single second there. There's no breathing. There's no slowing down into the workout station. Tim Vanish is going to be next in. It looks like he managed to open a few more seconds on Hunter McIntyre on that run. It was 4 seconds coming out. And Hunter McIntyre just now coming in. I want to say around about 10 seconds behind, probably.
Well, he's 100 metres plus behind on the row to James now. And Pelayo coming up behind, catching up on the run, as is Rich Ryan.
All right, we got a race.
We have got a race,
We have got a race, ladies and gentlemen. Here comes Sandy. Next one in. And he did well on that run. You know, he made sure to put a little more time into Thomas Turdick. It was his second or two coming out. It's going to be around about 8-ish to 10 seconds now. But James Kelly, we expected that kind of race from him in a way in Vegas already. And it wasn't quite that. But, you know, the confidence he brought over to Glasgow, he's shown it now. He's proven it on the track.
Yeah. And like I've been saying it all season watching him in the majors, but his running like never fails to impress me. Like coming in and out of these stations, he just looks like he's getting faster and faster and faster. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, but also, like, what I love about him is he seems to be aware of where he is in the race every second of the race. He knows the track inside out. He makes sure he's got it all memorized. He knows exactly where to go. He is not losing a second with trying to figure out orientation or anything.
Losing a little bit of time here on the row, pulling 148, 149 compared to Tim's 143, 144. Not much, but a little.
God. Just look at Hunter pumping.
But even though he's putting a lot of effort into the row, and you don't get that much back from it, do you?
No.
It's 4 seconds per 500, so 8 seconds across the whole thing. Which, yes, it adds up, but it's tough to claw back a load of time on the rower.
I don't think there is another athlete in the Elite 15 who is checking the competition as much as Tim Venish does all the time. Every single straight almost is like looking over to Hunter or looking over to James. Like,
maybe he just
what's
wants,
that pace?
he just wants to have a chat.
Yeah.
Or another fist bump.
But you know, if that is what keeps you going, if that's what motivates you to see that you're as fast as them, you're going faster, you need to be faster, then fair game. If you're right up there where Tim is, you make the rules.
Yeah, it definitely depends how you're feeling on the day. If you're feeling good and you're looking over and you're pulling faster, then you're going to feel pretty confident. Whereas if you're feeling pretty ropey and someone's pulling faster than you, it's going to be a tough day at the office.
A very, very short upper body movement we're seeing in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 5 with Ryan Kent.
Rich Ryan.
Rich Ryan, sorry. Slow movement and very little use of the upper body.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see what he's pulling.
Here we go. James Kelly out. And it's just he's picking up pace like this.
It's crazy. I think unless you're here seeing it as well, it probably doesn't reflect as much on the TV. Like, he is genuinely sprinting out of the stations.
Yeah. Really good row from Tim Venish. Good transition out, off those straps, back onto the run. Looking really good going out onto that run directly. And Hunter McIntyre still there. Here we go. There was this brief moment where he looked a little bit like he was just, questioning his life choices right now.
Yeah, been there. Been there, done that.
Yeah.
That didn't have the same feel as James Kelly's exit from the station, did it at all?
And Rich Ryan really looking like he is on a mission. Thomas Twerdik losing a few seconds there. He had to go back, put that handle up at the row proper.
Still in the qualifying spot though, isn't he? So.
Oh yeah.
He's got Sean Noble chasing him down and Yannick Japler.
Bo Wilts just checking the watch, realizing, oh, okay, this is the time I start cranking it up a little bit, second half of the race.
This is where Jake made a big dent in the Bilbao race. So after the rower, he then went pretty fast across the next 3 stations. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see him kind of claw back into one of those qualifying spots as these other guys went pretty fast on the early stages of the race. James Kelly still sprinting past and running past Paleo, who's one of the best runners that we see in Hyrox. So it goes to show how fast he's actually running.
So Rich Ryan right now dominating the 4-foot runner duel we're having here against Palau. But even if we look at qualifications right now, if you look 10, 11, 12 right now, they're still only 20 seconds behind the qualification spots here. The race is definitely still on all the way down to, I want to say, 12th at the moment.
Just looking for Hunter. I'm not saying Hunter go past us. Oh, here he comes. I think he might be losing a little bit of time on this run, though. coming out the road there, James was on 34 minutes and 9 seconds. That's around 35 seconds slower than world record pace at the moment. So still a very incredible quick time, but not quite on world record pace.
He looks very similar to how he looked in that Cologne race. I don't know if you remember one of the last chance qualifiers last year, where he kind of just didn't slow down at all and just get quicker and quicker. So could be under threat if he keeps moving the way that he's moving. James Kelly into the Farmers now.
All right, let's see how big the gap is on Tim Veenish. It's quite a show he's given us here, James Kelly. But again, you just mentioned it a second ago, you know, we're slower than world record pace. So we were speculating after the women's race if it was just the performance or if the track is real fast. Right now, it looks like it was just an outstanding, incredible performance we've seen from Lauren and Joanna, which in a way makes sense because we haven't seen Lauren, you know, challenged like this from the first run straight into the race the way we've done it here in a very long time.
It does make that performance even more incredible for sure.
Rich Ryan's definitely putting a bit of time into Hunter on those runs now. He's got to start picking it up if he wants to even get close to James.
Yeah, we also just heard from Lauren down on the track. She's really close to the athletes. She said Hunter is really hurting at the moment.
One thing we saw in Nice when Hunter was really hurting was the farmer's carry is a good indicator, like showing you how someone's feeling. And we saw Hunter put the kettlebells down in Nice. Yeah. It'd be interesting to see if he does it today. Like, is he really hurting that much? Because typically you wouldn't expect him to do it.
All right, Thomas Twerdick and Bo Wilts together into the farmer's carry. That Sharon Noble is coming as well.
Yeah,
James Dearden, Yannick Chapler right there as well.
Jake Dearden's making a bit of a move now as well.
Oh, there's going to be some serious heartbreaks. So many athletes still so close. All right, here we go. Hunter done with the farmer's carry as well. He is on the way out. Rich Ryan is right behind, so is Pelayo. He is right there. And James Kelly coming through. James Kelly is about to lap third place in the race here.
And I think he'll want to lap Hunter, won't he? I think that will be a little bit of a statement.
And here we go, in the picture, Bo Wilts doing Bo Wilts things again. You know, second half of the race, he is going. Thomas Twerdick doing real well as well. And Sandy's got to watch out for the competition now.
Yeah, he's got to watch out for Jake and Sean, and they're coming fast as well. We haven't seen Hunter come through yet.
Oh, Jake and Sean right there. Yannick Chapler again losing valuable seconds. I think it's going to be heartbreak for Yannick Chapler here today. But still such a close race. And James Kelly, he's going to go in for that kill now. He knows it. He wants to pass Hunter McIntyre just to prove a point here in a second. Here we go. That is the move we've seen. Bo Wilts just flying through the farmer's carry, and Thomas Twerdick going past Sandy as well. It's still all okay for Sandy, but as you said it, the boys from behind are real close as well. Great race though. We don't want to forget it because he's a little bit in no man's land, but Tim Veenish, fantastic race here today as well.
I don't know if you saw that. I think that was James Kelly and Rich Ryan giving each other a little fist bump there as they both passed Hunter McIntyre.
And Yannick Chapler, he needs to take that opportunity now and try to stay with those boys so he isn't losing too much time on the other guys ahead.
Hunter's about 28 seconds down from Tim at the moment.
And then if you look at it behind, Sandy is now with Sean Noble, and I think Dearden is right there as well.
Dearden's about to take Sandy and go into qualifying spot. So it's a race between those four, really. Thomas Turdick, Sandy, Jake, Noble. I think Afan's a lap behind, so I don't think he's in. Bo Wills has already qualified.
All right, and the next time they're coming around, they're going to head back into a little bit of a move there from Sandy, the way it looks.
Right, James Kelly's coming in. Rich has another lap, so does Hunter.
All right, James Kelly.
Hands up for the crowd.
Into...
You can tell how fast he's running because he can't keep his feet when he runs around the corner.
It's ridiculous. Every single time, same corner.
Yeah. Yeah, he's looking great. He looks very, very sharp right now. Again, he's also been back out in Australia training with Joanna, with Tia Claire Toomey, with Ricky Garrard, like some of the best athletes in the world, not necessarily Hyrox athletes, but CrossFit, and there is a crossover, but...
Honestly, after what I've seen in Vegas with, you know, a couple of the CrossFit Games champs coming into the race here, I think that setup right now to have experienced Hyrox athletes and then really established CrossFit athletes is the best possible training setup you can have. Because what those boys did with the sleds, that was ridiculous. The run might not be up to par with the Hyrox athletes, but what they did to the sleds in Vegas, that was wow.
And the wall balls.
Yeah.
And the wall balls. So it's what I've been doing a little bit more. My running's always been quite kind of a strong factor for me, but I've been working a little bit more with a CrossFit coach, and then obviously working with the centre sleds. Like, I think having the centre equipment at home is probably biggest impact for me on the sleds, like the sled pull rope, the sled, the sandbag, like just getting used to the feel of race day. And then obviously the kettlebells are different to your kettlebells in the gym, so having that has been really handy for me.
Well, look at that. James Kelly doing his thing. Tim Veinish somewhere in no man's land in second place. Nobody wants to play with him, but what a fantastic race from him. And behind, it's a duel. Rich Ryan, Hunter McIntyre, Pelayo Menendez now making his move again as well at the sandbag lunges, moving real well through this workout. And it feels like Hunter McIntyre, that's a slightly different suffering that we're seeing here today compared to other races.
I mean, to be fair to him, he has had a lot of travel. I know the other athletes have as well, but he flew in from Australia this week. So again, we've seen it happen when people fly over to America or back or forth. So,
and look at that, literally shoulder to shoulder, Thomas Turdick. We got Sean Noble there. We got Jack Didden there as well. That is the duel right now. For the qualification spots.
Yannick Chapler as well, not far behind.
Sean has gone unbroken on wall balls as well.
Yeah.
And Yannick Chapler is making his move, and Sandy is the man losing ground right now.
Yeah.
Seeing what we're seeing at the sandbag lunges, this is it. That's the race for Sandy. I do not think he's going to recover from that. He's shaking his head. Yannick Chapler, he's got to keep it clean. You know, he's got to do this. Sean Noble losing just a few seconds. But Jack Dearden.
Here comes James Kelly.
James Kelly, here we go.
Spinning around the corners.
Literally spinning around the corners.
How's his time looking against?
I think he's put himself 10 seconds ahead of world record pace now, James.
And it's ridiculous. How does he do that? He literally doesn't have an acceleration phase. It's like he drops the sandbags and he's at top speed already with the first 3 steps.
Yeah, this is really, really, really impressive. What was Hunter's wall balls on the world record time?
When Hunter did the world record, it was 3:27.
I don't think James goes that fast on the wall ball.
No,
he's going to need to put in another 10 seconds into this run, give himself a 20-second advantage, and then maybe do like a 3:45 and just about get it.
Yeah.
Tim Veinish now dropping the sandbag as well. He's trying to escape being left by James Kelly. Let's see. Here we go. He is out. So he is the last man not left by James Kelly yet, who's coming around the turn now. He's like 5 seconds behind Tim Veinish. He's going to see him in a second, and he's going to do whatever he can to let every single athlete in the race here. Rich Ryan, great moving here through the sandbag lunges, opening the gap on Hunter McIntyre and Bo Wills. Well, what can we say? Bo Wills
is going to move himself right up there with Hunter McIntyre. Palau out as well. Here goes Rich Ryan and Hunter McIntyre coming. So is Bo Wills.
So at the moment, the only person that's left that hasn't qualified yet is Rich Ryan. So he's looking in really, really good position for a qualifying spot.
I'm really impressed, I got to say, how Bo Wills does it.
Yeah.
Because he is such... I don't understand how you can be so nice and so humble and suddenly have a killer instinct within a race.
He also, like, I know he's an absolute insane athlete, but like his running and like strength numbers, he shouldn't be as good as he is.
Yeah.
Like, it's actually insane. Like his running isn't as like, it's still very, very good, but like his run time in here is the same as his like 5K run splits. Similar to John. Like they just can just run at this pace and it not affect them.
Yeah.
So they don't have like a top end speed, but they're kind of tempo cadence is just that 3:30 pace, 3:35, and they can just keep going.
Oh, and Sean Noble, he just now dropped out. He dropped out of the qualification spots. He's about 10 seconds behind the other two.
Tim is just about to go past Hunter.
Sandy is basically lost all the time here on the lunges as well.
Oh,
so
yeah.
Came in ahead of all those guys, and he's still
Glad
lunging.
he's still going though. I hope he stays in the race and keeps pushing through to the end. Again, Graham looks like he's struggling a little bit. I know he's not been training as he would have liked to. I think he really upped his running mileage. I heard he got to like 180k a week, which is kind of crazy, like for someone his size as well. And then I think he got injured, so he was trying something new. He was trying to get a little bit faster on the running space. But I think for Hyrox, and I think he probably learnt that, I don't think you need to be running that much running volume. For me, I'd probably run, again, Graham's a better athlete than I am in Hyrox, but I'm running around 60 to 70 kilometres a week at the moment, and that's probably my highest week that I'll get to.
Oh, Noble 8 seconds outside the qualification spots right now. It's really going to come down to this run and to the wall balls.
How's he looking?
And here he comes. Here we go. We're headed into the final workout at 49.
He's 20.
40.
Where does it count as in? He's about 15 seconds ahead of world record pace by the looks of it, or bang on really.
Yeah, he can't afford to break too many times. I think he can he's got room for maybe one break.
Yeah, but if you look at it, he's from the moment he picked up the ball, he's got 3 minutes and 30 for the wall balls.
Yeah.
It's doable.
That's fast though.
It's fast.
I don't know many, there's not many that will do that. Even Bo, who goes unbroken, doesn't do 3:30, I don't think. Again, the women go a little bit quicker on the wall balls because they've got a lower target.
Yeah. All clean reps so far, though.
Yeah.
But again,
this is going to be tight.
It's going to be real tight. But then again, after seeing the women's race, we were speculating how, that we would definitely see the world record broken here today. And it's not a definite thing. Again, I don't want to stretch it too much, but what a race from Lauren Weeks and Joanna Whitford we've seen here.
Yeah, Tim coming into the wall balls now as well.
Fantastic to see him really put it together now.
And Paleo coming in third place with Rich just behind him. It comes through as Ryan Rich on the scoreboard, but it is Rich Ryan, isn't it?
Yeah, it's Rich Ryan.
I was looking at it earlier, I was thinking, I've been calling him Rich.
All right, Bo Wills, Hunter McIntyre coming in now as well. Rich Ryan, he should be safe. He's in no trouble. Every single athlete around him is qualified already.
No rep there for James. You have to make some pretty decent contact with the ball. You can't just tap it. Or it sometimes does. There you go, from James there. They're quite sensitive in terms of where you actually have to hit them.
Oh, a little bit of confusion there for the boys where to go in. And And here we go, Sean Noble. There he goes.
This is what we want to get excited about. This James, Thomas, and Sean coming in now, because these.
And Yannick, look at Yannick. He clawed back some time on this run. This is 10 seconds for 4 athletes for the final qualification spot.
Yeah.
And 10 seconds is not that much because, as you said, it's not just about the reps. It's about keeping it clean and not no reps.
Yeah, Rich Ryan is 20 wobbles ahead of Jake Dearden right now. So that's the race we're looking at in terms of qualification spots. Sean Noble, as I said, has gone unbroken in a pro race before, but in the Elite 15 race, you're going to have put a lot more exertion into your body than potentially another pro race. So it'll be interesting to see if he can do that again.
But this is mind over body now. You've got 4 athletes there fighting for 2 spots.
So just a reminder, 53.22 is the world record at the moment.
It's going to be so close. He's got 10 reps to go.
20 seconds. It's going to be close. He's got to sprint to the line.
And he's got 4 no reps.
Another no rep there. That was a costly one. I think it's the distance to the finish line that's the issue. No, it's the distance.
2 reps.
99. Keep it clean. Keep it clean.
Sprint.
And sprint.
Go.
Sprint. I want to see that official time. This is unbelievable.
Matched it.
Did he just match it?
It looked like.
I think he might have matched it.
He's looking at it. He knows. He knows it was close. What a race from James Kelly, and what a statement in the race here.
Hunter's really struggling here.
I cannot wait for the final confirmation of the times here. He is pumped. He is absolutely pumped, and he should be. What a race from James Kelly that we've seen here. Absolutely incredible. But let's not forget about the duel behind Sean Noble, Thomas Truex, Yannick Chapla, Jake Dearden in there as well. That's the 4 folks fighting for the qualification spots, and it looks like he is a 53.23, I believe.
No way.
Is the time. I believe it is. We're still waiting for the final confirmation.
I can't see what number Sean and Yannick are on the other side, but Jake Dearden's on 68. Thomas Turdick's dropped the ball at 60.
Perfect.
So it looks as if Jake right now.
Look at that.
Yeah, Tim's happy. He looked good from the beginning, didn't he?
Oh, yeah. That's basically, that's the German version of the Dylan Scott celebration we've just seen,
Rich Ryan has taken the first qualification spot.
Yeah, but I want to see what's happening on the other side there.
Jake Dearden's getting a few no reps and he's dropped it.
Noble is caught up to Twerdig.
Yeah.
Look at that, he's got 1 past Twerdig. If Noble can bring this one home, this would be incredible. He's got a no rep now as well. Twerdig
1 behind.
This is incredible. What a duel.
Dearden needs to stay in it.
Dearden is looking good. He's looking good.
Noble dropped it. Sean dropped it. 83, sorry. Jake's also 95, 96.
Twerdig's going to push through now.
Looks like Jake's going to get it. No, Turdick's dropped it as well.
Twerdig now dropped it as well. But just a very brief stop. That's Jake. Right there. They got it.
Jake's through.
Jake's through. And is it going to be Twerdig or is it going to be Noble?
Oh my God, it's close, isn't it? 2 reps in it.
It might just be Twerdig.
1 rep in it.
They keep it clean.
But also think Noble's next to the.
Sean's closer.
Twerdig's running. Noble sprints.
Go!
Oh my God! It's done on the ankle chip, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's down to the ankle chip, and I think James' ankles were outside when he flew across the line. He should have jumped legs first.
Yeah, slide tackle.
Legs first.
Should have 2-footed. Oh my God!
Wow!
Oh my word!
How are they even going to decide that?
That is just brutal heartbreak right there.
The timing chip. When the timing chip goes over,
but it'd be exactly the same. Can the timing chip even go to point?
Well, the thing is, if I don't know if you can get a replay of that or not.
We need a replay of that.
If we see the replay, you see that Sean seems to be. It really depends on where the timing mat is.
It says that Sean
looks
is
like
through.
Sean. Looks like Sean has got it. I think.
I'm not going to call this before we know.
No, we can't. That was.
So something that might impact the result as well is the starting time. when did they go over the mat?
True.
Well, to be fair, Sean was at the front.
Was he in the front?
Yeah.
Woo. Oh. Well, we promised excitement for the race in Glasgow, and I think this is the most ridiculously close finish I've seen for a huge decision in a race.
That's down to the .00.
We're down to the .00s for the world record matching.
Yeah.
We're down to the .00s for the qualification. And you see it. The reason we're not seeing the graphic is because there's people above our pay grade right now looking very closely at the footage.
Graham's about to go unbroken on the wall balls, I think. The crowd's getting behind him. And you can hear that.
Oh, look at that. The only other time I've had a similar, sound or noise level for an athlete come across the line was Alex Ronkovic in Vienna last year.
Yeah.
All right, Humphreys through as well. And I know everybody out there is waiting for the confirmation of the time of James Kelly, but also who took the qualification, Noble or Tvirdik.
While we're waiting for that, though, like Rich Ryan and Jake Dearden both grabbing the spot. Really solid performances from them today. It was great stuff.
My heart rate's up. that was something else.
All right, let's take a look here, everybody. I think we do have the replay, and we're about to find out who's going to take the final qualification spot here. Look at that replay. We got Sean Noble flying across the line there.
But
Thomas
is
over him.
It depends where the chip is and what counts.
And we'll see in a second. I don't know. Should we tell the viewers out there who took it?
Maybe we should vote. Can we put a poll out?
Can we put a poll out? Who do you think won or took the final qualification? I know it. And our little fairy tale story, it looks like it came true.
And also 1 second off the world record. Like, that's
1 second of the world record.
I don't think he couldn't have lost much time because he was sprinting between every single station.
From what I heard, Sean Noble, who twisted his ankle before Vegas, is taking the slot for the World Championships.
Well done, Sean.
4 weeks. Doctors gave him 8 weeks until he can race again. He's back after 4 weeks, and it looks like he's gone through to the World Championship.
Well, shows you it comes down to those wall balls at the end, doesn't it?
It is unbelievable. And about keeping them clean.
Yeah, he got to 70 all clean and then did 2 no reps.
What an exciting race. I know we're going to go down to the studio to Lauren and Greg in a second, so I'm going to say thank you to you, Jake, as well, for being here today with us. And good luck to you for your races.
Thanks for having me.
That are coming up.
Hopefully I won't be back because I'll be in the Elite 15, but hopefully you'll have me back when I'm around.
We'll definitely will, but let's not. Let's have you in the Elite 15 instead. What a race, everybody. Look, he left it all out there. Look at the shoulder of Sean over there. It's all open from his jump across the finish line. Blood, sweat, and tears for Sean Noble, and I'm going to throw it down to Greg and Lauren, who are hopefully going to confirm that Sean Noble really qualified for the World Championship.
No pressure, Till. We're still waiting on the official confirmation other than what you're telling us. But wow, what an unbelievable finish, Greg. We knew this course was racing fast, but 1 second off a world record and a dive to the finish and potentially a fairy tale ending for Sean Noble. You can't write this script.
No, so excited. Like, James Kelly, that performance was incredible. Like he was 40 seconds off of the world record at some point, and then really clawed it back towards the end, and then just missed out by a second after getting 4 no reps as well on the wall balls. And then that finish between Sean Noble and Thomas Tvirdik, so exciting, brilliant racing.
Is the course running fast? And how, they were so nervous about this course coming into the race with all of the corners, but somehow it seems to be paying off.
It does seem to be paying off. I mean, I think we thought it was going to be incredibly fast after what Lauren and Joanna did initially, and maybe it wasn't to the level we were quite expecting, but they were still very fast. But I think it's maybe a sign of just how hard these guys are pushing each other now in the race. Like, you cannot let up. Every station you have to push yourself to your absolute limit. And there was was like proper racing today between all of them, you know.
And a word for Tim Vienish. We know when Tim is on form, he is one of the men you have to beat. But he was the one to push the pace out of the gate. He was the one to set the standard initially. And to take home second place, he'll be very happy with that.
Very, very. In the early stages of the race, we were like speculating, is this a mistake? We've seen him do it in other majors, go out very, very fast, like almost sprints out the start tunnel. But today, like, he looks like he absolutely nailed it, and he looked like he was enjoying it as well throughout. You know, he was looking around. He looked like he was having fun. He's enjoying his racing. It's good to see after he's missed out on like World Championships due to injuries in the last couple of years.
I mean, we're talking about enjoying it. There was one man who wasn't needing to book a ticket and is already qualified, but Graham Halliday in front of a home crowd. Every time he run past that grandstand, you just heard them go wild.
Yeah. Really, really good to hear. Like from the moment he was introduced, like the cheers that we heard from the crowd were huge. And then he finished there with 100 wall balls unbroken. Another huge cheer. Yeah, really good to see. It's a shame he wasn't quite on form today after his recent injury. But yeah, amazing atmosphere in here tonight.
There certainly is an amazing atmosphere, and that is not just because it was Graham Halliday with a British audience, but one man who's going to stand the other side. One man adorning a beautiful Irish flag. It was the fairy tale ending, Sean, but you had to dive for it.
Deep there. I dug deep, and like everyone wrote me off. Constantly everyone's writing me off, and I come back. Story of my life, you know what I mean? And like, it's not a David Goggins story. I did have an injured ankle, and like I said, I reminisce about my dad. He had 3 months to live in Turkey, and he got up stoically from a beach, collapsed, got up, collapsed. But he had 3 months to live just to give my mother a good holiday, so I can run around here for an hour, no problem. That's a real hero. Met people in those cancer recovery areas in the hyperbaric chambers that are warriors. I'm 28 years of age. I'm in my prime. This is not hard. What they're doing is hard, so I just think about that. When I went into those wall balls, I broke mentally. I broke at 85. And I was annoyed with that, and then I said, right, we'll catch him at the very, very end. And I just dove.
Let's take a little look at that finish, because when you're in those wall balls, and you, I assume, heard Faisal counting down Thomas de verdict.
Yeah, I heard his count, and I said, this is going to be close. And I shouldn't, I really annoy. Yes. That's all the football coming in, diving headers and stuff, you know what I mean?
How early had you planned that you would have had to do that as you were running up that ramp?
When I was on 97, I knew I had to do that. I knew I had to do that. I had in my head I'm going to jump as soon as I seen it hit 100. My judge said go. I just jumped, and I actually timed it perfectly as well, because if I went any sooner, I would have kind of veered too much forward, you know.
Were you conscious in the race of where everyone was and what you had to do?
I knew my level. I knew me and Jake are similar level. Jake Dearden, I know he beat me by a couple of seconds, but I knew if I'm close to him, I was in with a shout. When I seen I was up beside Rich Ryan at the start, I knew I think he's a bit quicker than me, so I had to pull back a little bit. But I was beside my pack, which was Thomas, Jake, I think Sam Back was beside us in the lunges, so I knew I was in good position. I'm strong on the wall balls. I always am. I need to work on my lunges. I left a bit of time on the lunges. And my back half of my race is starting to get better. It used to be my front half, but I slowed the front half down. Like the push, I slowed down. That was a conscious decision. Usually I just smash the push. But look, I'm very happy. My fiance, Grandad, if you're watching, appreciate you staying up watching. And shout out to Johnny. But no, and I can't wait. I'm on the flight to Chicago. Grandad, you're coming to Chicago if you're listening. So I'm very happy. I'm over the moon. Like this is unbelievable, and I have to say thank you to all the support. I felt the support that was going around. The UK crowd, like this for me is the home of Hyrox in the UK. It is really. I know we're originating in Germany, but UK have just taken it to a different level. And in Ireland, like I'm getting some support, even though I'm miles away from the likes of James Kelly. I say I'm 2 years maybe away from that level. People say, oh, you're 2-3 minutes. That's a lot of training, you know what I mean? So I have a lot of work to do, and back to the drawing board, get back. I did this with a dodgy ankle, so I hope maybe another minute, and put on a good performance in Chicago.
So from torn ligaments to a ticket to Worlds, you're allowed to enjoy this moment. Yeah. We'll see you later.
See you in the pub later on. Thank you.
Amazing, well done.
Guys, thank you. And thank you, Johnny, for being wonderful watching at home. Greg, obviously this was the fairy tale story, but for James Kelly, he was on a different level tonight. You could see it, and eventually when he settled into his race, he was having fun, he was smiling at the cameras and getting the crowd behind him. But that battle that he wanted to happen in Vegas seemed to play out tonight for him.
Yeah, it's similar to Lauren in the first race, where she lost a bit of time initially to Joanna, and then clawed it back. James did the same. It wasn't like he just led from the start and dominated. There was a race on, and he knew it, and he had to claw back time on the others, and he did it very impressively.
James Kelly, 1 second. It was 1 second. That was all it was on the world record. You now have the second fastest and third fastest time in the world.
Yeah, it's I'm pretty proud of that. It hasn't sunk in yet. I'm proud of the race itself and winning the race. Yeah, it'll probably hit me in a few days' time that I'm 1 second away from a world record, but to me right now, I'm just really proud of my execution of my race tonight.
Were you conscious of what the world record was, and like you were on for it and so on and so on?
I'll be honest, no, not at all. All I wanted to do tonight was win. And to win in that manner, I'm very proud. And I've learned a lot over the last probably 2 or 3 months, coming from Vegas and not being that happy with my preparation and my result there. And then coming tonight and doing what I did tonight, I'm very proud, yeah.
How much does this build your confidence as you're looking ahead to World Championships? It's a big tick to be in a field with the likes of Michael Sandbach, Hunter McIntyre, and to come out on a top while you've got the World Championships in mind.
Yeah, like Lauren, we live in this world of social media and trying to compare against the people that you just said, right? And I've done it before, and I think everyone does it, right? I learned the last 3 weeks that if I focus on myself, anything can happen. And that's what I've done, and that's what I'm proud about. No offence to anyone else that ran tonight, but I just focus on myself. I'm a little bit speechless now, but the World Championship will be a little bit different, of course, and yeah, I'm excited.
There's a few months now until Chicago. Is there a particular area you think you need to work on in the run-up to that, or just more of the same?
Definitely, no. There's Anthony and I have spoken about a couple of things that will definitely be changing in the next 3 months before Worlds. I don't want to repeat what they are right now, but to be honest, a lot of it will be just rinse and repeating what we're doing, sharpening a lot of the skills that I've already created, I guess, and then, yeah, hitting the ground running in 3 months' time.
Well, massive congratulations, JK. You are the winner of Hyrox Glasgow, the fourth and final major. That's 2 from 2. Not too shabby for a season, I'd say.
Thank you, guys. Georgie, thank you for watching, and I hope you're behaving at home. I've missed you tonight, but I'll see you in a couple of days.
Thanks so much, JK. Great job. Greg. So, obviously, JK, an unbelievable performance, but one man that really took us by surprise, or took me by surprise. We know he has this kind of performance in him, but the execution, Rich Ryan, that was not what I expected, especially given what we saw from him in Vegas.
No, yeah, like you say, we know he has that in him, but normally it's on American soil that he does it, and he's typically not travelled well. He's not performed as well when he's had to travel. I mean, I saw him on Tuesday, and he said, "Yeah, I'm feeling good. You know, I'm not suffering with jet lag." So, you know, I felt like that maybe that could come, but yeah, until we saw it, we didn't know.
Rich Ryan, it's a big old tick in the box. You're going to the World Championships.
Yeah, it feels good. Yeah, that was the mission. That's why I'm out here. Scotland's beautiful. I'm happy to be able to visit the UK. This is great. Very nice people, but I'm happier to get this ticket.
You had a slightly more difficult run-in than a lot of athletes in that you didn't start competing in the majors until halfway through the year in Las Vegas. You had to travel to make sure you improved your times. Does this feel like testament for all of that hard work and graft you've put in such a short space of time?
Absolutely. It's like the work is always there. Like I always feel like I do everything that I can. And I just put a lot of time thinking about this and then putting a lot of effort forward. And this is all the physical and mental energy and then the payoff of coming out here and being able to express that and be proud of myself and being able to share it with these awesome athletes and this beautiful community. It's just like, I wouldn't trade anything for it.
We were talking like we've seen you do that sort of performance on American soil, but not always travelled so well. Did you change your approach or anything this time?
I was certainly a little more mindful around the approach with how I was going to try to adjust my sleep. A huge difference that I made this time is that I came here with the intent of having fun, believe it or not.
You're here on holiday.
I'm here. I was like having vacation. I hit up all the coffee spots in Glasgow. They're great. I went for like a hike. My wife was here with me. She often doesn't come, and she's just been like so amazing and so supportive all the time. So like, it means a lot to have her here, and I think that made the difference. Is that like I had like the support of the person I love the most with me. So yeah.
I am so happy that you have this spot, and I'm so excited that we get to see you race in Chicago. But there is a very special person in your life that you need to go be with right now.
Yes, I'm gonna have a great night, great next couple of days. I'm gonna come out and see Greg race. Lauren, are you racing?
We'll see. It's the TBC.
Yeah. So maybe we'll come out, support you guys. But yeah, really excited to be here with the UK family. So thank you all. Yeah, I'm looking forward to Chicago. So see you guys then.
We will absolutely see you then, Rich. Thank you so much.
Well done.
Oh, an emotional interview, and it's one of the nicest things because you can really sense exactly how much this means. I think it's very easy to be blasé about that when we are in this world all the time, but these guys are dedicating their entire lives. They're making their partners, their spouses dedicate their entire lives to one singular cause, and that cause this year is the Chicago World Championships. I feel like that just about summed it up.
Yeah, you're right. And every little thing helps and plays into your performance here. And we talked about sleep and nutrition and things like that before the show. But it's things like just like you said, enjoying himself and like having a good trip and having the relationships and close relationships and support as well. It's hugely important.
Well,
well done.
Jake Dearden, on home soil, loose terms, because I know we're in Scotland. But those were some mighty fine warbles.
Oh, why, thank you. I've been working on them. I have been, because I need to. I was just sick of Bo Wills beating me on wall balls every single time. So, I've been working on them.
In your first year, you've come away with a ticket to Chicago.
Oh, honestly, I'm over the moon. Like that's to do it in the UK as well, in Glasgow, in front of the best crowd. My girlfriend's family's come up, my coach has come up, all my friends have come up. So it's been incredible.
Were you feeling good from the start today?
No, not really. From the first half, like you could probably tell, I looked like I was struggling a little bit, and then managed to kick on the second half. I always do have a stronger finish, but that happened tonight.
You did lay down a bit of a gauntlet though earlier on in the week. You did say, "I am booking my ticket here."
Yeah.
Was that like a mental boost?
I feel like everyone else just says it. Like, I'm not gonna lie. Like, everyone else, So you walk into the Elite 15 lounge, speak to all the lads, and they're all like, "Yeah, I'm gonna qualify." And so I was like, I best start acting like I'm gonna qualify. If you don't believe it, then it's not gonna happen. So that's what we did tonight. Yeah.
Were you looking at who you were racing against today, like as you were getting into the burpees and the lunges and so on?
Well, yeah. Actually, when I was on the rower, I thought, oh damn, like I'm third from the back here. Like I need to start kicking on. But then I realised Bo and Graham were next to me. I know they're fine athletes, so I couldn't have been doing too bad, even though I was in the back position. Two strong athletes next to me, so that gave me a little bit of confidence that I can push on.
You're an incredible runner, and you've done marathons all around the world. You've just booked in your next one. But eyes have got to be on Chicago at this stage, right? Like, how are you balancing it all?
Oh, tough question. Yeah. Hyrox is the priority, and that's the main focus. Anything else is either for like an experience or just supplementing my running, supplementing my weaknesses to get better at Hyrox. But obviously, this is the main priority.
And my gosh, is it paying off? Before you go, I have to ask. What's on your head?
It's a weighted headband just to make it a little bit harder. So these are kind of like bricks, and they're cooling. So it's kind of like stones, and they increase your surface area, and then they help cool your head. So it's from like a triathlon background. A lot of marathon runners use them. So Red Bull kindly gave it me to try. And it worked. I didn't feel hot one bit. tonight. So yeah.
And you kept your cool head.
Yeah.
And got yourself a ticket to the World Championships.
Yeah. No, thank you guys. Thank you. And yeah, thank you for setting all this up. It's incredible. I do appreciate it. Like every Elite 15 experience is amazing. So thank you.
Well, you're incredible. Go and have some fun, and we will see you across the pond.
Thank you. Thank you.
Well done, mate. Well done.
Did you like my little cool head gif there? Yep. Anyway, here we go. The results for our elite men. James Kelly 1 second away from Hunter McIntyre's world record. I can't even believe that was on the cards tonight. But here we are. And then Rich Ryan rounding out an incredible top 3 with tears in his eyes as he spoke to us. Bo Wills proving an element of consistency. And I think actually that's really important for an athlete of his stature. As we head into Chicago, that can only pay dividends. Let's take a little look at exactly, though, who has qualified, because those are the important things. We now have 12 people out of 15. Sean Noble, that dive under Thomas de Verdict, get him across the line. But as you can see, there are still 3 more gaps, Greg.
Three more spots, and a lot of athletes are chasing it. You know, a lot of people with their eye on the last chance qualifier in Barcelona. It's going to be some great racing. There's some really, really good athletes competing for those 3 spots.
Yeah, and not just on the men's side. If we take a little look at the women's side as well, we've got a lot of the status quo of Hyrox already going to Chicago, but there's also a number of athletes that are missing.
Yeah.
And that means that last chance qualifier is going to be huge. Zara Piergiani, for me, Viola Oberlander are some of the names at the top of that list.
Yeah. Like Viola finished 4th at the World Championships last year, and really would have been a podium if it wasn't for the penalties. Yeah, like you say, Zara's performed strongly in all the majors so far this season, but missed out. So yeah. Maria Fetchik today, and you know, yeah, a lot of athletes will be chasing down those spots.
Well, whilst we're not going to be seeing a lot of the athletes that perhaps we know and love, we are both going to be in Barcelona next month for the last chance qualifiers. That is on the 26th of April. And if last year is anything to go by in Cologne, this is going to be one huge event because it's everything on the line.
Yeah, everything on the line. 3 spots up for grabs, which is slightly different to all. Like there was 2 last chance qualifiers last season. This season is just 1 race. Everyone in it for 3 spots. Very, very exciting. I can't wait to see it.
And we're not on grid.
No. It's like a
pure traditional racing,
yeah.
Which is exactly what we're going to see over the next 5 days as Hyrox Glasgow continues with the community competition. 19,000 of you guys are going to be racing these halls over the next couple of days, including this man, potentially including this woman. But that is all from the Elite 15. We have had an unreal time bringing this to you, haven't we, Greg?
Brilliant racing. Love it.
Some of the best racing that we have seen all year long. But as you can tell, it's about time for us to get a little bit of sleep so we can be fresh and prepared for all that the weekend brings. We'll see you next time. It's going to be in Barcelona.
Make me go loco, loco. You make me go loco. Baby, yeah, that shit makes me crazy. Yeah, that shit makes me crazy. Yeah, that shit makes me. You make me go loco. Baby, yeah, that shit makes me crazy. Yeah, that shit makes me crazy. You make me go loco, loco. You make me go loco. Baby, yeah, that shit makes me crazy. Yeah, that shit makes me crazy. Yeah, that shit makes me. You make me go loco. Baby, yeah, that shit makes me crazy. Yeah, that shit makes me crazy. You make me go loco, loco.